Morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Ooh, let's get that off. Happy Friday, happy end of week, happy end of month. We have had a massive week on stream. All right, absolutely huge week on stream. Lots of new people turning up. We've had a lot of big winners. We are not going to give back our week and our month on a Friday. All right, rule number one. Worst time to lose, Friday. Why? Because then you have to sulk and go into the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, kicking and screaming at yourself because of the errors you made. All right, so we're not going to do that. Our job today, capital preservation. If there's an opportunity, we are going to take it. If there's no opportunity, we're going to hang out and have some fun. All right, so as always, we're going to start off on the daily chart. We can think about the weekly high and lows. All right, you can see we're still getting the Bollinger Bands contracting. Why? Because we had the ability to come up here and base. All right, we talked about this move here. Did they do it? No. We came up, we failed, we came downside, we came up, and we're back into what? Into this area here. All right, so this is very much a failed breakout. We're actually waiting to see if we're going to get continuation lower outside of this or continuation higher. We've had a failed breakout to the top side, so we're probably going to test this bottom side. And if we start getting weak, well, we can see this 200-day maybe being looked at and all these stops here. But for now, we're going to respect this range, right? Because this has been here since November, right? Beginning of November. Remember, we filled the gap. That was our obligation on the Qs. We filled that gap, and here is our box. Right, and you can see outside of this box, we have had no success. All right, there's been no success outside of this box. So what are we expecting? We are indeed expecting rotation. All right, back inside the box, we're going to expect rotation. Even if we think about the weekly pivots, all right, this is your Sunday low or Monday low, you can call it, up to the high. Guess what? We are opening right at 50%. So even if you are going to be a position trader and be like, well, I'm going to risk the low to get to the high or risk the high to get to the low, at best you are a 1-to-1 R. There is not very much edge right now in this market until we see some follow through. The other thing we need to be aware of is we are stacked. If you look at the high that we currently put in, or the open, we can call it 5-day. We drifted down to that 50-day. We found a bid on that 20-day. We're now stacked between these. You can see these have got very tight. This is not what you want to see. All right, healthy trending market will not have that. It will have them stacked as waves, just like this. All right, 5-day. Right, top Bollinger into 5-day, 20-day is the mean, lower Bollinger, and 50-day acting as a big support system, all right, on that lower Bollinger. We don't have that right now. We are in a liquidity building phase. It very much might be that we collapse this market, but it probably won't be today, all right? So we're expecting what probably, as we're opening up in an inside bar, as we're opening up inside the week, as we're opening up inside the range, we're probably expecting some rotation in here, all right? So we want to be careful with that. Moving down into the hourly charts. Make sure you guys can see all this all right. I've got this lined up right. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, moving down into the hourly. We can look at previous week's developing profiles and current week's developing profile. So right now, this is our current week developing profile. You can see this level here is absolutely pivotal, okay? This block here, what can we call it? We can call this block, basically, let's just call it 900 down to 850, all right? In that block, we have the current week or developing week value area low. We have the previous day value area high. We have the previous day point of control. We have the previous week value area high, right? Previous week value area high, and we have the week before that point of control. We can see this area here. Look how many times we want to test this area here. Look at this, all these value area highs, this node here, this point of control, this node here, all right? This is a big area for the market, dating back to mid-December, okay? Dating back to mid-December, all right? We're going back a long time now, 6 weeks. So we've got to be understanding of that. If we can hold, all right, if we are able to hold bids over 900, this is the same trigger as those in Discord took yesterday in the afternoon. If we are able to hold bids over 900, you can see we're thin here. It's possible at that point they want to come and retest up here into 26,000, possibly even this point of control up here, all right, developing weak point of control. This was the relief for anyone that got long yesterday. Remember I said the final target, if we got long down here, all right, the final target would be into what? This shelf here, because up here we have trapped buyers, all right? We're from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we have trap buyers. We flushed away from them. All right, we expect that now to hold as resistance. All right, so this is the pain point. If we come up here, all right, there might be a lift from 900 up to there. You would expect shorts to come back in play for the rotation back down. If they don't come back in play, and this is today or next week, if we come up here and we start to base, you best believe we're probably going to go all-time highs, because then we will use this liquidity to move higher. All right, so the first thing I'll be watching today is, can we find acceptance over 900? If we can find acceptance over 900, I'm looking for that whole number, 26,000, right? And if we get over there up into 2694, 26,100, we'll just call it, I'm not expecting the market to be able to move above that. I'm expecting shorts to either hammer us back down here or hammer us back down here. To the bottom side, okay, if we're going to lose the 850s, right, so if we're going to come down here and reject this shelf, then we're what? We're looking for the rotation back lower. So where's the next point? Probably previous week point of control, this node here. So if we lose 850s on a retest, there's probably a move back down to 700. If we lose 700, we have a runner back down to 600. So we are going to need to be available to play both sides of the tape. This is available. This is available. This is not an area I want to trade in. All right, I do not want to trade in 850 to 900. No interest in trading in there. I will let everyone else piss about in there, become the liquidity, and if we leave that area, we can use it. The other thing I should say and preface with this, a little poke above 900 without basing is not a buy, all right? That can easily be a trap and a flush. Same as here. A little poke under 800 that doesn't retest and stay heavy is not a sell. That can be a little poke under and a trap, all right? We can trap each side of this, like just like here. So we're going to be aware of those. Let's have a quick look at Globex, which is just above us right now, and see what we've got in here. In fact, you know what I'll do? I'll just put on a profile from Globex. Give me a second. I mean, just in case there's some key levels that match up. There we go. Right, there's our Globex profile. Here's the Asia high. So Asia, we got a drift down. We found a bid on, guess what? The 20-day. We came back up to that thick area and point of control and value area high. There was a fade from that in Globex back down to the 20-day. Retested the previous week point of control. Found a bid. Reheld 20-day. Back up. You can see the rotation. All right. Failing here. Drift down. 20-day. Recheck. Point of control. Drift down. 20-day. Lose 20-day. Previous week point of control. Back to 20-day. Point of control. 20-day. Reclaim. Back to previous day point of control, and you can see the rinse repeat. All right, so more liquidity being built out in the Globex session. No edge there for me right now. Okay, let's come up to this screen here, and we're going to have to get a little bit of a move on here, guys. I'm sorry. Quick look for ES and the spiders for you. You're basically looking at the same story. Okay, that drive up and ES, this is the same thing we just talked about. Trapped buyers from this week are trapped above here. There's the flush. There's the retest. It stayed heavy. This is now your range on ES. If you get acceptance of follow through under this, right, then you can dig for lower prices, looking for probably 78s and maybe back even into this cluster right down into there into 830s, but not necessarily today, but it's something we can consider. We can have a quick look at the spiders, and it will be the same story. Yeah, same story. So 85 was the gamma level. You can see we cleaned out this liquidity at 85, found a bid, same story. All right, there's your range here to here. That's the range that we're currently in. So you want edges on range until proves otherwise. Same story on the Qs. It's going to be exactly the same. There you go. Never really got up into this pain point. We only came into here. So there's the flush. There's the rebound. The question is, do they sell this now, or do we just get stuck in here on a Friday? Dollar is trying to find a bid at the moment, actually. It's trying to curl off these lows, but again, just one big range, very similar to the indexes, right? We're stuck up here. Buyers are trapped up here. So that's the liquidity build. Is this a giant bear flag? We will find out by next week, I would imagine. And we can have a quick look at the VIX, which is probably still in this channel. Let's just zoom this out a little bit, clean this up. Yeah, still finding in this channel, still kind of getting stuck topside, but we have found a bit of a bid the last few days. So I'll be watching some of these areas. I'll clean them up on my other chart. All right, quickly, we've got 5 minutes to go through the mag. All right, Apple held this key level. that we talked about yesterday. We can know that this is now support. Had good earnings yesterday, but obviously they didn't like the guidance. So there's a big blowout on there, and then Tim Cook probably opened his mouth. We didn't watch the guidance, but I'd imagine opened his mouth and we gave it all back. And we're just dancing in that range. Nothing's actually changed there on Apple, opening up flat. Amazon is on a gap down. All right, you can see this key pivot here. This is its key area to hold right now on Amazon. It's a big drive out. It is possible if we start snapping under this. All right, we're building liquidity. It can get weak, might drag the market down. Goog, gapping down as well. Same kind of story. There's your liquidity build. If we start losing these areas, all right, here's your right shoulder, right shoulder will be built in here. Sorry, if we lose that, that's where weakness will come. Meta continues to be strong, I would imagine. Yeah, so a slight gap down, but again, we are just in a range here at Meta. Remember, I'm long Meta, up like 25% on this now. So just looking to see if we can fill up into there, and I'll probably lock in most of the rest of my profit. Microsoft, all right, that is nasty. That is a nasty one. All right, here's failure to reclaim of the highs, and there's the giant sell. So Microsoft really stuck in this pivot. You'd be watching 39s. So 40s to 50s really for a resell on Microsoft, I would imagine, even if you sell that and you cover some into the lows and then wait to see if you get underneath it. If it starts reclaiming 50s, I wouldn't be risk off. I'd say it's possible for a squeeze. Nvidia gap down as well, but that is very messy in its range, but holding up pretty well right now. Tesla, trying to find a bid. Let's zoom out of this a little bit. This has been messy for the last week or two. Yeah, it continues to be a bit of a mess. So back to the bottom side of its range. There you go. That's the range since the whole of this month on Tesla. All right, it's just in a range until it finds acceptance outside of the range. There will be no continuation. So you'd be playing edges unless we break out and retest. And the mag as a whole doesn't look too good, does it? It just looks a little bit messy since that Wednesday pivot. Okay, let's have a look just at some broader names quickly. Oracle trying to find a bid, but again, underneath that range. Any back test of 70 to 72, I'd expect them to try and sell Oracle. Netflix coming back down to its pivot. So let's see if they rebid that or if we just get a collapse. Looks like very possible for a collapse here. And then we might get the 70s on Netflix that we talked about. AMD, yeah, pulling back after that huge drive out the last few weeks. So it's going to come back and back test this kind of area here. Right, that's the expectation. Remember, breakout, pullback. Question is then, do they rebid? Not if the market's weak, they won't. Okay, so bias for today, neutral bias in a range until we see otherwise. And remember, 7, what did I say? I'm going to have a look at this again. Get this off. We will be watching trigger points of 900s and sort of 850s, 900s and 850s. So there's the 800s right now. Is it 850s? Just check this. 830s. Yeah, they're all thereabouts. What is this level? No, don't need you. Okay, team. Market opening up in what? Just over a minute. Morning, everyone. Morning. Just seeing a couple of you guys in stream. All right. Do me a favor, smash that like button nice and early. Make sure you've gone through your morning prep. We talk about this all the time. Do not skip your morning prep. Right? You better be fit and able to be present in this stream, to be able to take trades, mentally fit, physically fit. Have you slept enough? Have you drunk your water? Have you done your meditation or your visualization? Or if you're able to, have you been to the gym or gone for a walk? All that good stuff. It matters. I promise you it matters. All right? It really matters. And we will see how we go here. Let's get my charts ready on Ninja, making sure they're all lined up okay. Probably no trade to start the day for me today. Probably just going to let this play out and do what it is it needs to do. And we will go from there. Okay, here's the morning drive. Let's see how we come up into these areas. These 900s, remember, key. These 900s key. Into this sort of old supply block where we got a bit stuck and we get thin through there. We can think about Globex, but I'm going to wait to see if we get acceptance above all of this. Letting this do what it wants. SPY coming up, trying to fill its gap right now. Q's trying to do the same. Big drive. Gap fills all the way up here. Remember, this yellow line would be gap fill. This is Globex, so a bunch of liquidity up here. Remember, this is the edge where we talked about we kept getting stuck in. So if we get acceptance over all of this, if we pull back and find acceptance over all of this, then we can expect 26,000. Otherwise, this can be a failed look above. Again, this is why I don't want to trade in this range that we're in at the moment. I want to let this market make its decision. Let the market make the decision. So failed look above previous day high there, getting trapped all the way back down to point of control straight away. You can see the choppiness to start the day already very, very present. Another 250 point day. We'll see. We got a few of those yesterday, didn't we? Two. So if you're joining me new on stream today, we had two 250 point trades together yesterday on stream. But we're end of week. When lowering the expectations, we did just wash like quite a few stops here above the 904, 905s. So we'll see. I'll give you a readout on the mag. Tesla 2.66% up. That's then followed by Microsoft 0.5% up. After that, the weakness starts. Nvidia 0.15% down. Meta 1.63% down. Google 1.60% down. Amazon 1.21% down. Apple 1.80% down. So failed look above the 900s, no base. Back down to the 825s. Remember, this is the area of the other side of the range. So we've already traded the range we talked about pre-market. Sort of 825s up to the 900s. Remember, this is our no trade zone. We don't want to get stuck in here. I don't want to trade these edges. I don't like trading edges. If that's a bit of you, for sure, go for it. You're talking about 100-point rippers there out the gate. Watch your ATR. Okay, watch your ATR. I'm going to wait for us to move outside of here. In fact, I'm going to remove that. And just watch this, right? So the range we talked about pre-market already come into effect, right? We keep holding around these sort of 800s, 825s, and we come up to the 900s, and we're not finding follow through over 900. So this is our avoiding zone right now. This is why we're leaving this zone alone. VIX finding a bit of a bid in an old pivot here. It's got gap fill potential below as well if it loses this pivot. Gap fill on VIX would be 1687. That will obviously be very bullish for the market if the VIX does want to do that gap fill. Okay, back up to current value area high, previous day point of control. If they resell this, there's probably a retest down towards the 800s again, which is coming now. So let's see if they give follow through now underneath this, looking for this to see if they want to give follow through underneath the 800s, underneath 820s. To come back down into previous week close. That's what we're waiting to see if we're going to see that follow through now. I don't want to trade in this range, so I'm going to wait either side. I'm willing to play above this long, and I'm willing to play below all of this short if they base and retest the areas. I'm not willing to play in between this, right? Not for me. That's not a trade for me. Maybe it's a trade for you that you guys like. Back to the 900s then, so still chopping around. Pop, drop, drop, pop. Yeah, both sides right now, Josh. Both sides. They're just testing each side of this range. Very, very tricky area, like we went over pre-market. It's a huge area dating back 6 weeks. 6 weeks, you got to understand that. 6 weeks of liquidity being built up around in this area. It's very, very thick. Victor, yeah, if you just purchased it, once you go into there, it should tell you what to email. You'll need to email me from the email that you purchased the indicator from and send me your TradingView username, and I can get that done for you. If you've done that already and I haven't seen it, I do apologize. All right, back to these 900s. Remember, we keep failing over these 900s for now. So it's still inside the dance. 100-point dance here. 100-point dance here. So what I was saying, folks, lower your expectations today. We had a fantastic day yesterday. We had a fantastic week. 100-point chop is crazy. It is indeed, isn't it? Remember, it is end of the week and end of the month, all right? So we'll have to see how they position. It's very possible that if they can get over the 900s and base, they can lift it, like I said, 26,000 and even 26,100, and then I expect sellers probably come in up there. If we can come underneath sort of the 825s and base under that, start to reject that, then that rotation down to 700 and even 575 is possible. So don't want to play in here, want them to make their decision and we can join afterwards. Understanding the conditions is so important. Which days I want to attack the open, which days I don't. Yesterday, once we washed, we got in very quickly. I think it was 3, 4, 5 minutes in yesterday and we were ready to go. Not today. That's not the type of market condition we have today. VIX starting to really get sold off under that pivot now. The range is nasty for a long time. Yeah, I agree. Mark Hammond, I agree. I agree. We're dancing right in the middle of the daily Bollingers as well. Like if you just zoom out on a daily chart, go back to the beginning of November. In fact, you can go back beyond that. Go back all the way to the first week of October. Go back to sort of October, what's this, the 10th, right? We're still dancing around that same kind of level. It's a long time that we've been around here. So still can't get through the 900s. Let's put some volume on here now. We can see what we're playing with on this opening print. Right, so 900 still being sold. And back down to the other side we come. And if they don't bid this, then we're looking for the fail underneath the 825s or 830s. If they rebid this, then we're going to go all the way back up again. It's the rotation. Fun, fun, fun. Fun, fun, fun. This is the market we're in. We have to be patient. You do not want to front run this. Back up we go. So if you're a range trader, you should be really enjoying yourself this morning. You've probably made 100 points, 100 points, 100 points, 50 points, maybe 100 points back up. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. Far beyond my appetite. Okay, back up towards the sort of 900 area again. I'll say buyers keep getting stuck up here into and around here. There's no acceptance above it yet. Let's see if they lift. If they're going to base above here, maybe there's a gap fill on the SPY. If they can get above previous day value area high, maybe we get this move here. We're going to have to see it do something like this, and I would be taking partials on the way. If we're going to see this in a base above, you want to be very, very, very careful. It is not something you want to oversize in. It was not something you want to add to a loser in. It is nothing like that. Still no base above. If I walk away, go 900s. There was, or maybe I'll walk away and I'll come back and it'll be 600 straight away. Who knows? Who bloody knows, right? Who knows? After how they treated me yesterday, these dirty buggers yesterday, letting me go to the toilet and have back and come back, and you guys get a 250-point move. It was actually more like a 400-point move if you held it to the end of the day. Okay, here's the break above. Here's the 920s. Let's see if they pull back and hold now, and if we can lift to 26,000. Yes, going for that gap fill. SPY going for that gap fill. Just be aware of this. We might not make 26,000 if the obligation is for SPY to fill its gap and then fail. So you're looking for 94s on the spiders if you're playing the ETFs. So 93.50s now on the ETFs. You're looking for 94s. I'd absolutely take a partial if you are long into that. This dip's going to have to hold these 900s or 890s. I would not hold beyond that. If it's not willing to hold that, you want to be out. You do not want to be caught in a flush right back down to the 820s. All right, so long from here, see if we can get up into here. Watching the ES very closely. Globex, this will be a TP1, by the way, into 34s, 35s. So there's your TP1 pretty much hit. Don't be a dick for a tick like we always talk about. And let's see if we can lift up to 26,000. So TP1, TP2. Move your stop up now. Do not get caught in this. All right, you do not want it under here. TP1 here, TP2 is up here. That'll be a 100-pointer if we get it. Here goes SPY, getting very, very close. Another 30, 40 cents on SPY will do it. I would move your stop now up. Well, you don't actually have to. You can protect it versus this, but it depends how much size you've got. Or at least trim some on that last push, because you do not want to get collapsed. If SPY fills the gap, if we do this and we fill the gap and do that, you do not want to get collapsed on, all right? You do not want to be collapsed on. Big sellers coming in here. Huge seller just came in at 24. More sellers coming in at 33s. All right, just be aware of that. That's some big boy size. So we have an imbalance down to 900. I will not let this come underneath. Certainly don't want it underneath that previous day value area high. We have buyers joining on the tape at 95 and 900s, and someone's trying to join in at 17s. Really don't want this to flush much further down. Don't want to sit through any pain here this morning, especially this early in a volatile tape. So either way, going to lock some in. Yeah, 9:45 news, you're right. PMI, 9:45, Chicago PMI. So how long we got for that? A couple minutes. Couple minutes for that, almost there. You might want to move your stop even tighter for that. Don't want to get flushed out. It's getting tight. Getting tight. I'm getting ready to stop out on this. Can always reload later. Watching this value area high. All right, out of this now. Don't want to get washed 100 points down. Just being protective, because that can still be a fail break above the 900s, right? Can still be a fail break. If we start losing VWAP, we can see this right here. So this is why I've stopped out. Can always get back in. I'm going to probably wait for the news now before I do that, though. So what do we get out of that? Not that much. How many points do we get out of you? Not bad. Almost 40. Almost 40. I'm out of this now. I'm not risking this. I moved my stop up. Break even. Don't want to get washed on. All right, here we go. Be very careful here, folks. If they fail to see follow through upside, there's very, very strong chance that we go a giant wash down. Remember, we're back into that range now where I said I don't want to trade in. ES failed to close its gap, so did the SPY. SPY came into like a supply level. Would have liked to have seen one of them close their gap just for efficiency purposes. News coming here soon. 40 seconds. So here's the wash back down. This is what we talked about. This is why I cut that trade. Developing a shelf here now. You can see the rotation here. 900 to 875 is now key. They lose 875s, you probably get a wash. Remember, we're coming into news now. 20 seconds. After we get this news event, we can think about what's next. What is next? You lost big somehow. How did you lose big? It was just a trade from here straight up. That was it. And then I said move stops. Sorry to hear that. Hopefully there was no bug in your system or something. Okay, opening range now set. We're right at the midpoint of the opening range. Here comes the news. We're starting to lose the bids here. We're coming back down to that previous day point of control again. We're in that rotational zone where I want to avoid trading. If we're going to lose 825s, 800s, then we can trade back down to 700s as well. So I'm willing to play both sides of the tape outside of the range. Outside of the range. Not in here. I really don't want to play in here. Okay, previous day point of control, 850 being tagged now. We're trading between the two VWAPs as well. Very, very ugly. All right, everything going red other than Tesla. Let's see if we get acceptance underneath all of this for a wash now. If we've had that fail break, if we come under here, find acceptance under here, I'm willing to play lower. As in, I'm willing to short to play lower. Previous day point of control here. VIX starting to find a bid here as well, back into old resistance level. Let's see if they want to wash this. Let's see if we can get going underneath value area low and VWAP here. Here we go. It's value area low and VWAP. Let's see if we find acceptance lower or not. Still they're bidding down there. So still into the edge of today's rotation. So right now, 40s to 900s is the rotation. 60-point rotation in the day. Still no acceptance underneath that. I will wait to find if we can find acceptance underneath that. Yeah, AVGO, I mean, 1.84% up. Nothing too major. Most of, if you look in the broader market, a lot of it being sold this morning. All those like high beta names, RGTI, MVTS, IONQ, IREN, obviously IBIT, Kavana, PayPal, like a lot of stuff being sold off this morning. You can have a look at the breadth. Let's have a quick look on FinViz. How's finances doing? Yeah, the market's red, guys, other than healthcare. Healthcare is the only one holding up right now, which is why it's holding up ES pretty well. ES just held a bid into its New York Open there, as did we. We didn't quite get down that low. All right, so they're rebidding the rotation back to 900. Still no trade, just that first attempt where we cleaned out Globex. Back towards the 900 now. Do I look at gold or silver? Sometimes. And see silver's in that like 12% down right now. I'm not touching it right now. I will touch those trades, right? I will happily trade gold and silver when they're less crowded. When everyone's forgotten about it, I'm going to treat it like a small cap. When you guys, when retail have stopped talking about it, I'll start a position for a long-term short on them. When it's done with. For a fade right back down. Bounce on Dixie last night. Yep, it was indeed 0.5% up. Trying to find a bid on it, aren't they? It was probably from the comments of Trump and the yen. Come on, market, get out of this range. Give us something to do today. Give us something to play with. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the orb is doing exactly what we expect. There's your opening range high, opening range low. These were the areas, right? So 900s, 800s, that's your rotation. Can we get acceptance underneath? Remember, under sort of 835, we can look for 800s. Under, I would say, under 790s, that's where the bigger wash really starts to accelerate. Under 790s, we can probably get a move down into the 700s. Right now, it just doesn't know what it wants to do. That's why I said lower expectations today. Green dotted line, that's your 24-hour VWAP. All right, that's 24-hour, and this is the New York VWAP. So that's anchored to the 930 print. This one's the 24-hour one. $900 retest. Someone's trying to bid this at 85s now. Let's see if he actually walks up. ES holding its New York Open pretty well. Google just gone red to green. Microsoft gone red to green. Some of the mag trying to find a bid. Nvidia not too far away. Amazon not far away. So some of that mag closing its gap, trying to find a bid. Patience day today, folks. Just be very, very, very patient. It was similar the last few days. We had to be patient on stream, but if you stuck with me, we then probably caught a net 600 or 700 points yesterday. All right, back above the 900s. Do they find acceptance now? Same question. We're asking the same question. Is there acceptance for this drive up into 26,000? We're back up to that same level up here. So does this next pullback hold in and around the 900s, or are they just going to keep selling pushes over 900? Yeah, I agree, Raf. We made our money for the week. I totally agree. Yes, profile starts New York Open. Correct. Totally agree, Raf. That's why I'm lowering expectations today. We had a massive week. It was a big, big week. It's going to be one of my best months for a long time. And remember, I didn't even trade for the first 10 days or so of this month. I was away with some personal matters. So we don't need to force. Not every day is an A+ trade day. Right now, this is not an A+ trade day. It's probably going to be a B scope trade day at best. At best. And that's if we hold bids or hold offers lower each side of this range, right? They're trying to build here versus 900. VIX new low of day. VIX is going for gap fill as well. So ES and SPY look like they want the gap fill. Our gap fill is this yellow line if we can get going. So there is a long here if we can get going above here. If we can get going, I want to see it firm up and do this. All right. If we can't firm up, if we can't just keep holding this, then I'm not interested in it because I do not want to get dunked back on again, just like here. It's the same kind of player we looked at earlier. I want to see it firm up. I want to see sellers get trapped. Not seeing that yet. Is back down into that previous day value area high test. They will need to bid here and firm up and trap sellers. If they do, I'm interested. But at the moment, I'm not seeing that. Some sellers are starting to get caught there now. How big were you? 115 lot. Not massive. Not massive. Not convinced. They're coming back into that 115 lot around the 900, 895. Let's see if they absorb this tape or not. No, they're bidding lower now. I don't like it. Even if it goes without me, I don't like this. I don't like it. I think they sell through it. This is the level where he got stuck. So it's right here at 95s. Selling through it. That's what I said. Don't like it. Don't like what I'm seeing on the tape. Still selling down, back into the range again. Nothing's changed here, folks. It might be boring for you guys. I'm so sorry. I can't control the market. I can only trade what's in front of me. Like I said, was considering a dip buy there, but the tape said don't do it, so I didn't do it. Can I show where the gap is? Yeah, right up into here. 26,000 or 999. 25,999 is the gap fill on NQ if it wants to do it. Guys, you guys saying it's really bullish because we reversed the move. Okay, like you are incorrect. You are about as incorrect as you can get. And this is why. What did you reverse? Who is stuck? What have you done? Nope. Where's the pain point? Where are buyers stuck? They are stuck here. All right. We bid off this. This is not bullish, guys. All right. This is not bullish. This is the pain point. They want to lift to here. If you get through that and base, you're bullish. Until that point, this can be sold off here. It can be sold off here. It can be sold off here. This can be a two-leg to build liquidity to drive lower. It can absolutely be that. It can also come up here and hold and then be bullish. This right here, this phase we're in here is a liquidity building phase. To say that this is bullish because we reversed the move. What have you reversed? This was your opening point yesterday. This is a pullback. This is how the market moves. It doesn't go straight down. We cover here like we did yesterday, which causes this move. To say this is bullish is a awful statement that will get you very, very hurt. Very hurt based on what? Based on absolutely nothing. You have to respect the structure in front of you. Do not convince yourself it's bullish because we bounced off a key level. Like, markets move in waves. All right? Don't convince yourself that. I'm not trying to dig you out, whoever said that. I just don't want you convincing yourself this is mega bullish because it bounced. No. Right? Just no. That's not how the market moves. Right? We are in a neutral phase of the market right now at best. Neutral. Still building, still above the New York Open, still can't fill the gap, still building in the same area. If you go back to the beginning of the stream, we're still in the no trade zone. What are settings for volume profile? It's an anchored volume profile. You click on the 930 candle, your opening print. My settings, I have this set to 2 ticks. All right, so I like using ticks. If you don't like using ticks, you can use 1,000 rows. 1,000 rows. Mega chop and stop. Yeah, it is right now. It is. Remember, it's end of month, guys. End of month, end of week. We've had big moves already. Right, still the same thing possible. If they can base above here, we can try and go for that gap fill. If they can't do that, there's nothing to do. So far, every look above here has been sold into, right? We're not basing above here. Every look above here so far has been sold into. We're not seeing this move here. Here, we did not see that. We saw sellers come through with follow through, which is why I did not touch it. Right, and this can snap soon. If they can't get going soon, they're going to trap lots of balls here, and under here there can be a rotation. Right, there can also be a failure like this. So we want to be very, very careful. This is the same level we went over pre-market, so I'm trying to be as patient as humanly possible right now. How do I define basing above? Pulling back in, so breaking out. So if we break out and we pull back in and we base, we hold here, and I see passive buyers absorbing the tape. Right, where are we? If we see passive buyers absorbing the tape above here, right, if we break above and we see passive buyers absorbing the tape and sellers getting stuck, we're not seeing that. Look, we're seeing aggressive buyers get caught right now. They keep getting caught. They keep trying to step in and they keep getting caught up there. Every push up there, this is looking very weak now. Back down to the 860s, point of control. Down here. Sellers coming in there underneath 70s. So far getting caught. No acceptance under 60s. 60s was a huge level where big sellers came in earlier. This candle at 947. So no acceptance under that. The rotation continues, guys. Rotation continues. Back to these 60s where the big seller came. Can we get acceptance under this? Do we start to lose the bid now? Are we going to be more aggressive now is the question. Tape looks pretty thin, I'm going to tell you. Looks pretty thin. All right, here we go. Here's the 50s. Are we going to expand value now? We're expanding value. Here's the VWAP. Now, does the next pull up, do they defend 50s and 60s, and do we start selling aggressively now? This coming back down to the edge of the range now. I'm starting to get interested in the short for follow through. If we can do the same thing, if we expand and break out and hold the pullback, here we go. So watching these 25s down to even 790s and to see what we do. The pullback now, you would need sellers to defend 60s, right? Sellers, you would want sellers to defend 60s now. Looking for this continuation. Here comes the low of day, I would expect here. Here we go. In this now, see how much we can expand underneath. Trimming some into this. And let's see if we can get follow through now. Down to previous week close would be nice. Can we get follow through? The moment no follow through. Come on, Bookmap, why have you stopped? We've got a bid at 800. We want to watch at 800, so we're going to trim some into 800. Buyer stepping in here. I think we should break him. 790 is big level. So already trimming a lot of the position here. Remember, big level that they need to defend now is 50s. So now we will need to see rejection here, or I'm out. Rejection here, I'm out because we will re-squeeze back up. Good defensive 50s so far. That was the level where the sellers came in. We need to see follow through now for a new lower day. Watch your ATR. I'd be watching your sizing today. These moves are very, very aggressive. So we need 50s to stay heavy. We want a break of 800 for continuation. I will cut above 50s. And if we can break 800, I'll be looking. Where's that 20-day? 752s would be nice. Previous week close 738. So I want to be very careful here. Anything above 50s, I will cut. There was a seller and some imbalance all the way up to 67, but I'd rather cut and then re-add. So far, we're still defending it well. I will be willing to be much heavier outside of 790. We keep absorbing here. I'm not interested. I want to see a break now. We got to break lower now. We've tested 50s. We need to break lower. If we're not going to do that, I'm going to get out of the trade. Come on. There's the 25s. We know that this is a big level. We talked about it pre-market. Come on. Have you got any juice? I'm just going to recheck this level here. Yeah, 806s. We want an 800 break. 800 break might open up the gate to 750s and then 700s and maybe even lower. Sellers getting caught in that last candle. Be very careful. Sellers getting caught at 821s here. I will cut this at 850. Any break above 850, I'll cut. I can always re-add if we reflush. Out now. Taking that off. I will re-add if we reflush it. So locked in money there no matter what. Don't want to get caught back into the same range. Same as the top side, right? If fail breakout, if this is a fail breakout, we go back into the chop. I don't want to get caught in a squeeze like this. This is exactly it, all right? So play was from here down to here. Partials, wait to see if they stayed heavy. Failing to stay heavy, we come back inside this chop and we can always re-add. So we're having failure above, failure below right now, retesting up here. We can re-add if we're going to stay heavy now. I just didn't want to get caught and give another, 50 or 30, 40 points back. Trying to be disciplined here to see if we can break down. What percentage do I use? I use 70. Why are you saying I don't use 70? It's exactly what I use. Never change it on a profile. Right, back down to where these sellers just last got stuck. Can we get acceptance under 20 for a re-entry now? 800's big level. Here we go. Are they going to flush this now? 20s, 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 20s. Do we move down to 800 and snap it? Here we come. So looking to see if we can expand now. Want to see 20s stay heavy at this point. No expansion. Retesting value area low here at 30s. 50s still the big level. No expansion under 20s yet. 800 still the level I want to see snap. We've got a bid on the tape there, 100 lot. Where's ES? ES right on its New York open and 24-hour VWAP on the spiders. Where's the VIX? VIX can't get through its pivot either. This is messy. Be careful here. They might fail break and rip this again. If they catch enough shorts, they will have enough juice to rip right back to the upside. Oh, amazing. No, I'm good. Thank you. I'm looking for shorts. I'm looking for shorts at the moment if we expand. That's what I'm looking for. If we expand, I want to see continuation. We're trying to do it at the moment. Here we go. Watching these 820s. It's the big levels, these 820s. So I keep calling it out. If we get under 820s, 800, 790s, we get going. Here's the opening range low. It's being protected so far. This white line on the screen keeps being protected. You can see they're trying to absorb here. So the question is, can they rotate this? Or are we going to do that? I'm not going to sit through anything like that. Looking for the rotation or the expansion lower. Looking for the expansion lower, back down into here, ideally. Here we go. Here's the move to the teens. Come on, then. Can you come and take this 800 guy out? Here we go. Trying to be patient. They're front running this guy at 800. 100 lot, 800. They're adding now at 780. I'd like to see this come lower. ES right on its VWAP 20-day and New York open. Here we go. Come on. Hello, sellers. Any follow through today? Are you around? Do you want to give some follow through? Back to previous week value area high. That's going to be the key level. I would not play this if we start breaking above this. There we go. So no interest yet. Still waiting to see if we can break that low of day and get follow through. So we had one attempt. Patiently waiting to see if we had follow through. Nothing still. Back inside. And they can afford to lift this right up to here now. If they've caught enough shorts, this is what I'm saying. This can be a fail break. And we go right back to the upside again as they build more liquidity out. I will play short, right? If we come under here and we keep rejecting this and we trap buys in here, I will play that. I will play long if we come under here and we trap sellers in here, I will play that. I will not play in this area here. I am unwilling to do anything in this box here. And that's not just based on today. That's based on previous day, previous week, and everything we went over pre-market. So all we've had today, unfortunately, is two little scalps. One scalp there, one scalp there. That's it. Haven't been able to get anything else. They're looking to get filled with my shorts. Well, not really. Not really, because we got filled from here down, and then we didn't get the break to re-enter. So I'm not really sure what you're on about. Okay, screaming back up to the upside. Sellers got caught under 25s. That's why we kept talking about the 20s and 25s. The low of day auction is terrible, though. I'll tell you now, there are bids at the low of day. That is not a good auction at the current low of day. ES holding, like we talked about, that 20-day New York Open and VWAP all stacked together. So I'm willing to play this if we now base above for this drive for the gap fill. There's a giant squeeze up. And every time we've come up here this morning, we've got stuck. Again, sellers up here, we're at 24s and 33s. If we get over those levels, there's probably continuation. What's my TP and SP? What's that? What's an SP? Stop loss, do you mean? TP and stop loss. My TP is always into a key liquidity target. Stop loss, once we get a fade and we're not getting continuation, you'll hear me say it, I move it. So like here, you'll hear me say, like I'm long, partial here. Once we get up there, I'm moving my stop break even, because if we can't accelerate, I'm not interested. Don't go to the toilet. Yeah, well, it's going to do a rip one way or another. ES looks very strong now off that 20-day New York Open and VWAP right up to high day now. It's got gap fill. I would not be surprised if ES fills the gap and NQ doesn't. MAG starting to rotate. Tesla on a bit of a boomer here, 3.43% up. Nvidia down just under 0.25%. Microsoft's found a bid, 0.83% up. Meta down 1.66%. Google now green on the day, 0.18%. Amazon 1/3%. Apple just 1/3% down. They're in a rotation, guys. No one knows what they want to do with this. What am I showing on the screen? Just a 1 minute. Just a 1 minute chart. Okay. It's messier today, guys. I cannot do anything about the market, right? I can only tell you when I'm going to get a trade, and I've made it very clear all day. I do not want to trade in this choppy action. I want to trade outside of the choppy action. Why do I want to do that? Because everyone else is going to become the liquidity, right? Everyone else, where's my arrow, is going to become the higher time frame liquidity. I don't want to become someone else's liquidity. I want to see a continuation outside of this. I don't give a monkey's which way. We can come up for a back test of here and then fail that, or maybe even up here and fail that, or we can come for a back test of this and come down to here. I'm happy to play either side because both are viable today, because we are neutral. We are in a neutral bias right now. When did you hit 1K viewers this week? Man, I don't know what's going on with YouTube. It's been insane. I'm now out to 1,400 of you watching today. That means over 1,100 of you have not hit that like button. I tell you what, I'm going to be asking these prop firms for a lot more giveaways for you guys now. I cannot wait to give you guys some more free stuff. I'm going to start getting in touch with people, see if we can give away some fun stuff as well, like maybe each month get one of you guys a monitor or something useful for you to trade with. So yeah, smash that like button for me, everyone. Smash that like button for me. How many contracts do I trade? It all depends on the account size I'm trading right now, and it also depends on the ATR. Right now, you do not need any size. Look, these are 100-point rips back and forth, 100, 100, 100, 100. You don't need size. Look, here's your 900, failing above 900. Here's your 800. This is a 100-point range, which you've done once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, 8 times, 9 times. There's been 900 points near enough up for grabs here if you're a range trader. Right, look at the flow zones, they're flat. Look at VWAPs, they're flat. Look at previous day value area high. Are we finding acceptance above previous day's value area high right now? No, we can't find acceptance above. Are we finding acceptance below previous week value area high? No. What does that mean? We're not rotating the previous week. If we're going to rotate the previous week, then we can expect this and this, can't we? We're not seeing that. This is the current week developing as well. So we can expect this today if we let go. We're not finding acceptance either side. What we are doing is building out lots of people. So when we have these sideways actions, if you imagine bulls are all positioned in this and bears, all right, and bulls have their stops here and bears have their stops here, right? If we pop this, you will get a ripper. If we pop this, you will get a ripper, right? So don't join in on this unless you like trading range and you're buying that, selling that, buying it back, selling it, buying it back, selling it back. All right. If that's your bread and butter, you should be very rich today. It's not my bread and butter. I try and avoid those. The reason yesterday was so good and this week's been so good is because we've been in breakout or in failed breakout of higher time frame, and those are the moves that I like. That's when we've been nailing those 250-point trades. Just make sure, my best advice is like keep being zoomed out. Look at this chart here, understand where we are. All right, we've broken away from trap participants. We've washed. We're now in the liquidity building phase in this huge node. And if you zoom back, you can see the importance of this level, right? It's a huge level, massive, massive level. All right, let's see if they have another go here. Let's see. Do they hold bids now? ES is about to fill its gap. Be very careful here if ES fills its gap. All right, SPY has now filled its gap. If you see a failure here, it's because SPY's filled its gap and that's all they wanted to do on the cash market. So SPY's just filled its gap. ES has got a bit longer to go. SPY pulling back off that gap fill. This is why I watch the ETFs at the same time. SPY with the yellow line, there you go, has filled its gap. ES is not too far away. All right, it's almost at the cash gap. Qs are nowhere near. They've got a decent amount of way to go. All right, so we have relative weakness in the Qs. So obligation filled in the spiders for sure. Cash market has filled the gap in the spiders. Can I talk more about the ATR? Yep. What is it that you want to know? I use the ATR on a very low time frame. So your opening print this morning, the ATR was 95. So you had 95-point candle in the first minute, and then you give the whole thing back. Right now, we're trading on an average, I'd say, of about 30 points. So per 1 minute candle, you're looking at 30 points. So if you're someone that uses a 20-point stop loss, you're probably going to get stopped at a lot today. So what's the best thing to do? Shrink your contract size, increase the stop loss a little bit. Yeah, shrink the contract size, increase the stop loss a little bit. All right, SPY really got hammered off that gap fill, guys. So we're just trading on the, if you look at the spiders and the Qs, if you look at the 5-day and the 20-day, guess where we're stuck between? You know it. You best believe it. It's the 5-day, 20-day chop. What do I mean by SPY cash gap? There is a free video on my YouTube on that, but what I mean is when I look at gaps, all right, I don't just look at daily candles. I look at the 4 o'clock close. All I care about is the 9:30 open and the 4 o'clock close, because where is cash traded? Look at the volume here. Look at what's traded before that, all right? Look at the volume here. Look at what's traded after 4 o'clock. Very thin. So I care about what I call cash. Where is most of the money traded? It's in the cash market. Where are the options traded? They're trading in the cash market. So they care about the 4 o'clock close. They don't care so much about a 5 o'clock close, right? 4 o'clock close matters. 9:30 open matters. How long will I continue these lives? I mean, I've been doing them for, I don't know, 15 months now. So as long as I'm enjoying them and I feel like I'm helping you guys, I'll continue to do it, because trading is a very lonely job. Moody, do I set my volume profile only to the cash sessions? I do indeed. Other than the developing week, I set from the Sunday open. Right, so developing week or weekly profile, Sunday open. But each day's profile, cash. For me, that's how I like to trade it. But, you know, each to their own. Some people might not do that, but that's what I like. I like trading the cash. Am I waiting for a better signal? Yeah, basically. We are starting to hold here. It's starting a little bit better. But the problem is for me now, we've taken the low-hanging fruit on SPY. It's looking a little better, but we've taken the low-hanging fruit on SPY. So, you know, for us to do this, if SPY's completed it here, it's risky. I'm watching. They did just defend 900 pretty well. I'll give you that. It's just not like a prime environment that's making me scream in to try and get a trade. ES is looking for that gap fill. So you've got ES and the 5-day right around 92. So if you're long ES from Globex from 78, you want to be taking most of your money off the 92s. Mag, all now green other than Meta, the one I'm swing long in. I am long in Apple and Amazon as well, so it's all right. Okay. Are we going to hold? They're still selling these 920s, 930s. There is liquidity above. Let's see if they hold these dips again into these 900s. They're trying. There's a buyer down here. I'm unconvinced. I'm very unconvinced of what I'm seeing on the tape. In a sideways market, do I put weight on VWAP? No, not really. I just think it's a box, because it is. Look, the 24-hour is holding this morning. You can see it is holding. Right, they're using it. But if we think about, I just think about everything like this. Right, those are New York VWAP, 24-hour VWAP, flow zones, and value. We're just boxed, right? We're just boxed. Can they do this? It's possible. They're trying. They are really trying. They keep reselling these 20s though. If SPY had not already filled its gap, I'd be more willing to get long right now. How has it felt to have financial freedom due to trading? Is that part of the reason you're extremely helpful with the live streams, giving back to the community? Yeah, it's funny. I talked to a peer about this last night. I believe in giving back. I do not. I also, guys, I was you and got ripped off by people. Even by, I got ripped off to learn, like, pay thousands and thousands to learn how not to trade. Thousands and thousands of thousands to learn the worst possible habits ever, which took me so long to kick. It's disgusting when I look back. And then even with the good guys that were like decent, you're still looking at, even on the sale, $4,000 or $5,000 a year to be in their trading rooms. And you know, I was fortunate enough that I had a good career before all of this, so I had some finances, and my wife was very supportive of me to do it. But I don't think it's fair. Like, there don't need to be these locked away secrets so much. Like, I agree that you should pay for some information, but I also agree that, you know, it's important to give back. You know, I believe in karma, I guess, is the best way of saying it. What were the bad habits? Bad habits, adding to losers. And at the time, it was I was trading small caps, right? So it was more like shorting parabolic moves, but not stopping out, right? Not doing what I did today, right? You would have seen today, where did we go long today? I think it was here. all right, and I took partial, and then old me back in the day would have added and added and added and added, and then maybe if I was smart, got out break even, added. Why have we got a gap here? What's going on? So, but it was a small cap era for me, is when I was trading small caps, and we'd have like parabolic moves, all right, this, and add, and Alex blows up and loses all his money, all right? Those were some of the bad habits. Taught, not just like I made them up, actually taught to do that. Bullshit, absolute bullshit. So that's why I teach you the complete opposite. There will be guys in chat that will have had some of those bad habits or traded with some of the people. But I'm not here to badmouth other people, so I will not be telling you their names. Sellers definitely just got caught under 89 there. Definitely got caught at 80 there. Under 89 and 80. 20s is still the level that they can't get through, but sellers definitely just got caught on this last dip to VWAP. Right? If we have a look in here, you will see it. Look at these sellers. They just got caught in here. Right? This guy here, he's caught offside. So if they can't get back under here, there is a chance. So they're going to come back down and retest this. If they rebid this, this will look okay. If they flush this, there's a big sell. So they're trying to rebid now. See how this seller got caught? You can see him right here. This guy here into 90 down to sort of 77. That is his pain point. If they flush through, you'll get a wash. If they hold this, they'll rebid it. This is why I'm just being very patient. It's a two-sided tape right now, and we're right at value. This is value for the session, right? This is point of control on the session. It's VWAP for the session. I don't really want to bid here on value, all right? I don't have edge bidding on value. And like I said, SPY already filled its obligation of filling the gap. They need to be badmouthed. Yeah, there's part of me that really agrees with you, Scott. Really agrees with you, because they're charging a lot of money and teaching really bad stuff. And then there's part of me that's just like, whether you want to call it God or spirituality or whatever, where I'm just like, I need to be a nicer person. I just should not be shitting on someone's mouth. Just do the opposite of Ross Cameron. I mean, if you've listened to my interview, you will know that that's what I used to do. I quite genuinely had a small cap room, or was in a small cap room with some guys, and we had a subscription to Ross Cameron, and pre-market, we would let Ross pump and pump and pump, and we would take the opposite side of his position once we thought he was getting out and dumping on all his followers. It was a legit thing that we did. I do not combine order flow and ICT. It's just order flow and structure, really. Each to your own. Look, I don't disagree with all of ICT's teachings, but they're not his. As simple as that. And they're not all as accurate as you think. Order block is supply and demand. Don't care what he fucking tells you. That's what it is. Liquidity is a stop hunt where wicks are. That's what it is. I don't seismic. I can have a look into it. No one's ever requested it. I can have a look if it's possible. I'm not a web developer. I have asked my web developer to do a few things. Here's the wash, guys. All right, so back into the range, failing the 920s again, absorbing off that 24-hour VWAP and previous day point of control. This is still an avoidance kind of session so far. I'm really sorry. Lots of you guys might be new here thinking, why are we not taking a trade? I promise you, yesterday we had a 250-point short, then we had a 50-point short, another 50-point short, and then a 250-point long. I will trade when it sets up for a trade, I promise you. Once I learned enough and built enough edge, I plan on doing the same as you and work to lift others up without robbing them. Yep, that's it. And it doesn't matter what your career is. I used to do... Even in my music career, guys, I used to do the same. The amount of artists I bought through. So I did a deal with, I had my own record label. I couldn't get a deal. 2011 to 2014, no one wanted to touch me. I could not get a record deal anywhere. So we opened our own label and started putting records out. The first record we put out on vinyl was us, a guy called James Denny, if any of you are into DJs, Hannah Wants, and Chris Lorenzo, right? That was our first ever record on our label, and it flew. And then after that, we started getting some traction. And then in 2014, we were pitching a song around that no one wanted to touch. We gave it to Annie Mac on Radio 1. She gave it a spin, and guess what? My phone did not stop ringing on the Monday, and we had every single label chasing us for a deal. We did a huge deal, which lasted a long time. 2 years later, we sold our record label to Sony, and I still managed an A&R'd that label, and I spent most of that time bringing young artists through. All right, I didn't really care about the big established artists. I think it's important to give young, or doesn't even need to be young, people who haven't had their break, give them the opportunity. All right, there are so many talented people out in this world who just are never given the opportunity. So it's really important. So it's the same in this. I want to help as much as I can. All right, still stuck. Jeez Louise, nothing's changed. What you might get here is, at some point today, if they've built enough liquidity, you might get a very quick snap. It might be in the afternoon if they don't do it soon. All right, Google coming back down. All the mag coming back down, other than Tesla. Tesla's on a pumper, 4% up. Let's have a quick look if that's peaked out. Let me zoom out here on a 30, see if we're coming into a pivot. We are. Right, that same zone. So Tesla's coming back up. This is like a two-leg, 1, 2, back into these pivots. If it can't reclaim, we might see some weakness come in the market. All right, watching this now for downside. All right, same as we were watching for upside, I'm now watching for downside if we want to accelerate, if we're going to let go. Back into value area high from previous week. Can we find acceptance underneath this and start getting aggressive? If we can, we will trade it down, and we will try and get down into these gray lines. We're looking good here now. Watching this very carefully. Can we trap some buyers down here and start washing? Yes, we can. Come on, market. Let's do something fun here. Let's start snapping. So we've got an imbalance all the way up to 50s again. That same level as earlier is going to be key. Let's see if we can get outside of all of this. Let's see if they push back up and trap some buyers and then start washing. Here's the pushback to previous week value area high. Imbalance is up to 50, remember. We've still got this buyer on the tape down at 800, 100 lot and below. So watching to see if we come up and reject, and then if we see follow through or not. ES still holding New York Open, VWAP, and 20 days. This is exactly the same as last time we were here. We're in complete alignment. It's exactly the same as last time we were here, which was at 10 o'clock. I think we might get expansion here. So revisit. Sellers definitely caught up above 50s right now on 50s and 55. 60s the big level of the seller. So want to see how they act. Here's the drive into 50. Want to see how they act now. 50s and 60s. Do they resell this or not? This is what's key. Do they resell this or not? If not, we're going to go back inside the dance, back to the upside again. But if so, and they catch enough, I think we will get a wash. Good rejection there. Here we go, folks. Can we get a breakdown now underneath these lows for follow through? Do we have any follow through today? Yes, trying to find a bid on that New York Open. I think we're going to get follow through here. Watching this short now for continuation and a snap. Come on, we've got to get under the 25s. We talked about it all morning. Here we go. Here we go, folks. Come on, stay heavy, stay heavy, stay heavy, stay heavy, stay heavy, stay heavy. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Beautiful. I want to see one more push down and come and wick out all of this. And if we run all these stops, I think we can get down into here. Let me just make sure I'm checking these profiles. I'm going to just get a grey box on where we thickened up on the current week, just so we know this right here is key. This right here is key. Under that, we have room. Under this, we have a lot of room down into here. Here we go, folks. Come on. Like I said, low of day auction is terrible right now. I think we will make a new low of day because there's a buyer down there. I don't think that holds. I don't think it's a good low of day auction. But this is a big area. So if you're in this, make sure you're paying yourself into this. Outside of this, we're going to get very weak. Code flow zone on TPT. Sorry, code flow. Here we go. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. All right, here's 800s into the grey box. Partial here. Let's see if we get acceptance now down into here. So TP1 now hit. We rejected 50s. Remember I said 50s is the key level. I gave it to you exact key level. We rejected 50s. We're seeing follow through under 25s. The wash now is to 90. If we break out of 90, we're looking for 38s. We can call it 40s and 700s. All right. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. Nice rejection of 50. So here we go. Let me get this on. Sorry, I forgot to put this on for you. I got a little bit excited here. You are looking for continuation now down into here. And then if we get lucky down into here, you should have locked in no matter what. You should have locked some in. So nice rejection of 50. We could actually risk up there and see if we can get here. All right, see if we can get this and then this. Really nice, guys. Really good work. Patience, 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 right? Patience, patience, patience. Ideally, we reject the grey box. I would not want this back above the grey box. Certainly not above the 20 level, right, where we built this shelf. Let's see if we can get some follow through. Really don't want this back into 20s. So taken partial, stops now at 20s because that was the break of 25s, right? It was at 20s, stops around here. I don't want to risk back up to 50s. Really nice. This rejection here was key. Do you remember here I said we're doing the same thing as earlier? The 50 lift, the 50 lift, the 50 lift. Once we broke 25s, that was it, right? Down into here and see if we can get this, this, and this now on the runners. It might not give us the runners today. It might very well do something like this. So we're not going to play for that. We want this now down into here. If we reclaim, I will be out on it. I'm not going to sit in case we do a failed break. If we do a failed break, I'm not going to let this reclaim this level here, sort of 2025s. Is the squeeze back up. So they're going to test this level. If they do not reject this level, then I will cut. Nice rejection in front of that so far. Really good. Really good. This is what we want to see. We want to see big rejections now and follow through. I would love to see Amazon go red here as well. I trade like by 2% knowledge. What do you mean I trade by 2% knowledge? I'm not sure what you mean. If you think I've got 2% knowledge, then when I get the rest 98, I'm going to be a dangerous man, aren't I? Here's the 800 test. That trade passed your funded account. Nice, good work. We had a big seller at 800 now. All right, bring you over here. Big seller at 800. We have an imbalance up here into 12s. All right, so we're watching for a rejection 800 to 12s ideally. Don't really want it to lift up here. I want to see Delta stay heavy and follow through. So I'm expecting a pullback. I want to see that pullback sold into. If we don't sell into it, it's going to be problematic and I'll cut the rest break even. Where did I enter? On the break after we broke 25s, all right, here. Where we are basically, where this line is. Remember I said I want to see 50s reject and a break of 25s. 50s reject and a break of 25s. Same thing we were looking for here. We want 50s reject and a break of 25s. There's the break of 25s. All right, so here to here, and then waiting to see if we reject this now anywhere here for continuation. If we reclaim this, I will not touch it. We can always trade again afterwards, all right? But if we start reclaiming these levels, I will not touch it in case we do that. Failed breakouts are very possible each side of a range, so I'm being extra careful today. What is a break of 25? Right here, 825, 825, the level, 825. No, 825. If I'm giving you a number, guys, it's here. I'm not going to say 25,825. I can't say that all the time. So we just call it 25s, right? Let's see if we can get continuation now. Initial balance now set. Is that right? Yeah, IB now set. So we want to be careful of a failed IB. So IB high to IB low here. Let's just see what that expansion might look like. Can we line it up with something? Yes, that would look pretty good. This would look pretty good. So previous week point of control is possible if we stay heavy here based on the IB expansion to the 1618. So we have alignment here if we can stay heavy. So here's 800 test like we talked about. We have an imbalance here into sort of 812s. That was your opening range as well, by the way. And then 825, there is an imbalance up there, which is where my stop break even is right now. If we get ES staying heavy versus New York Open here, it will really help. So it keeps trading into that New York Open and 24-hour VWAP. We would like to see it stay heavy. I'm very aware that the indexes right now are stuck between the 5-day and 20-day. So here's the lift up out of this now, because I don't want to get caught in a squeeze back up. So out on the runner, we can always get back in. Remember, can always get back in. I don't care giving out on the runner, can always get back in. What I'm not going to risk is a failed breakout, getting caught with no stop and it ripping from like 25 all the way up to 900 again. All right, so failed break here. Here we go. This is why we stop out on the runner. And right the way back up it comes. This is why we don't stay in. This is what I talk about, the difference between me now and me years ago, is I wouldn't have understood that if that reclaimed, it's likely to do this. There we go, squeeze back up. So fail break, trade down, fail break, trade up. The rotation continues. At least we got TP1. And there's your IB back to VWAP. Just happened. I don't know if you traded that, Tyson. There's your IB to VWAP. And previous day value area high now tagged. Rotation the other side. And this is back into the no man zone, no trade zone. Not trading in here. Don't care what it does. I'm not trading in here. I'm trading outside of it or outside of it. I'm not trading in here. It's my leave alone zone. What is that move? It's just a squeeze. It's a squeeze, right? So lots of people probably chased down here. This was the target. Remember, that's TP1. 25 break into this node. TP1, the grey box held. We couldn't reject the grey box. We couldn't reject 25 for continuation. So we reclaimed. When we reclaim, everyone stops out and they cause this. All right, so if you've got short sellers stopping out here, they cause this. All right, because if too many shorts get in here, their stop is there. They allow this squeeze right the way back up. And this is why I'm saying I don't want to sit through a failed break and a squeeze up, which is what we've had. It's a messy chart today, so you've got to be very disciplined. No, I'm not getting in on, and there's no I'm never anticipating the market. No. When we are here, what did I say? I want to see a reject of 50 and a breakdown of 25, right? When we were here, I want to see a reject of 50. What's that? That's a reject of 50 and a break of 25. What's that? A break of 25. That is not an anticipation. That is me telling you what I want to see. There's the break. There's the cover. All right. Stop then goes to break even because I don't want to get caught on a squeeze back up because everyone else who's smart enough to take that trade will cut here and that happens. I'm never anticipating the market. I'll tell you what I'm looking for, but I'm not trading in front of that happening. That's where you'll get caught. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. Okay, mate. Okay. Okay, bud. Even though I gave you the exact levels and we had like 700 points and we probably had 2,000+ points this week together. What are you? Are you ICT's fucking kid? Fucking dick. Man, there are some cretins out there. All right, so rehold a previous week value. We will trade back up for a back test of this now. This is the liquidity build out. You can see it here. You can see it between these values. Again, if they base above here, the squeeze is on to try and fill this gap. Like we talked about, SPY has already filled that gap though. Qs have not filled that gap. ES has not quite filled that gap. No, NT8's Ninja's fine for me. It's been the same calls all morning, guys. Nothing's changed. This is the same thing. Outside of here and outside of here, we're willing to trade. Inside of here, I'm not willing to trade. What indicator that moves from red to green? Flow Zone Pro. Flow Zone Pro. It's hilarious, man. It is funny. That's right, Matt. Matt has absolutely nailed that. That is the statement. That is exactly right. The market is the perfect tool to move money from the impatient to the patient. That is the most accurate statement. Very, very accurate. Think about yesterday, right? What we traded yesterday. We were short yesterday for this breakdown under here into here. And I got this to this, and I missed this. But then we were long on this trap here all the way back up, weren't we? All right, because we were patient. We knew it would be a long down here if we trapped enough, and it played out. All right, so it's being patient, and we don't trade this mess. We don't trade that mess. We wait for everyone else to trade that mess. We trade outside of that mess. Very, very accurate statement, Matt. And the 100-point chop continues. Just think, like, from really here, no acceptance over this. Not too much acceptance below this, like 112-point chop. Market isn't respecting levels. It is absolutely respecting levels. It's exactly what it is doing. It is absolutely respecting levels. There's a reason that we've just held this, right? There's a reason we held this grey box. There's a reason we just held this. There's a reason we keep getting stuck up here. It is absolutely respecting levels. It's just whether you understand the levels that it's respecting. We will move to a higher time frame, right? This grey box here. And this 5 minute. This node here is being respected, right? It is being respected. Being respected, being respected, being respected. We drift under it on a stop wash. Oh, look, we grabbed the 20-day. Never guessed that. It must be ICT that says 20 days and SMAs and EMAs don't work. He must be fucking clever. Respect the grey box. Respect the grey box. Respecting this node. Respecting this shelf. It is absolutely respecting levels. It's just whether you're zoomed out enough to understand what the levels are. All right, starting to find bids now on the top side. Into the edge of current day's value, 905. So let's see if they hold bids now. ES getting very close for that IB high. If we're going to go IB high rotation day, it would not surprise me to see ES break IB high, fill its gap towards 90, what is that, 93s, and then fade back inside the IB high. So I want to be careful when we think about the type of day we're in. We're in an inside bar, we're inside the daily, we're inside the weekly, and we are inside initial balance. A highly probable rotational market, which is what we've seen this morning. Alex, in your course, do you teach about the indicators you use and how to use them? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Of course I do. Of course I do. So the main course you want to do if you're looking to learn is the 20-hour course. That will teach you all the indicators, what I use, how I use it. And with that, you get the Discord. Right. So if you want to understand everything on the screen, that's what I use. And if you already understand all that stuff and you want to use like volume profile, delta divergence, imbalances, footprint, bookmap, then just do the volume and order flow course. VIX new low. Yeah, VIX just filled its gap. VIX just filled its cash gap. So that cash gap on the VIX was to what, 1686? It's into a pivot now. Good eyes, mate. Good eyes. So a breakdown now under 1670s, all right, can allow a flush on the VIX down to 1653s. And then we've got some like old gaps that we can fill down to 1634s and lower days down to 16. So we'll just see how the VIX acts. It's in a pretty key level right now. We are starting to find bids here. We are starting to absorb and find some bids here. We're stuck at the value area high of the day, which is starting to lift and move higher. ES wants that breakout for that gap fill. I would not be surprised if we break out, fill the gap on ES, and then come straight back inside the IB. Can't reach my page. Really, I'd seen someone else say that. I'm wondering if I've got someone... Let me try it on mine. wonder if someone's being a bit of a pain. It's working on mine. Let me post it in here. Try that link there. Still rejecting these same levels up here for now. They are trying to find a bid here though. If you purchase multiple Apex accounts, is there a membership fee for multiple accounts or one membership for all the accounts? Probably a stupid question. Not sure what you mean by membership fee. You pay for those accounts, all right, for your monthly fee. All right. Once you pass those accounts, you have to pay for each account to be activated. If you don't pass the accounts in the first month, you'll pay whatever the fee is for the next month for the rollover. So I think right now it's 90% off right now. But if you don't, let's say you buy one today on the 30th of Jan, if you haven't passed it by the 30th of February, they will roll over to the next month and you will only get a 50% discount. Hope that makes sense. And I don't know what activation is right now. Or is it $70 or something? All right, yes, looks like it wants to get going for that gap fill. We are starting to build liquidity here. 900 all the way down to 890, big level. It looks like they want to lift this at this point. They are trying to lift it and run all these stops. And if they do bust out of this shelf here, I'd say this top side of this shelf here, if they can start busting out of this here, right, this shelf here, if they can build liquidity and bust out and run these stops, we've got the potential for this gap fill up here into 26,000. Same thing we've been looking at all day, each side of this. Here we go. They're starting to run it. Let's see them. Watching ES. IB high now on the ES, now tagged. Let's see. Let's see. Here we go. This is where the sellers came in this morning. It looks good. Buyers getting a little caught here, but I think we're going to expand through this high of day. We want to watch that higher time frame algo as well. ES through that initial balance. So watch very, very carefully for ES to trade into 92.75s, 93s. That it will be the target for ES. Gap filled again on the SPY. So just waiting for ES to play the catch up. And then the question is, do we do it? If you are long in this pullback here, I would be starting to trim some on the next break above here. All right. Hopefully above 40s you get a squeeze, but I'd be trimming some into that in case they use that little squeeze to sell into. Because remember, market order buy stops will be here. You'll probably get a stop run here, and they could very easily do a fail break of the IB and turn back inside because we are in a balanced day. I don't know what I'm talking about. Better listen to the guy on stream who's 15 and follows a delusional old man that wears a stupid cap and has failed every single attempt at every single trading account. Okay. How am I seeing the buyers getting caught? I'm using order flow. So Bookmap, which you can see above me, and also footprint. All right. So this right here. All right. So buyers caught here. All right. So we're waiting to see. Sellers are caught under here. This is the rotation. Can these buyers find acceleration at the moment? We should come and pop those stops. ES has already done it though. It has not quite filled its gap. It did run the high. Yes, it did run the high, but we have not quite filled that gap on ES. We have done it on the SPY, like I've talked about. We have done it on SPY already. No worries, Chuck. All right, failed break of the IB high there on ES. Still hasn't filled its gap. Like I said, SPY has filled its gap. The one thing I'm aware of here is SPY, like I said, has filled its gap already. This yellow line's been tagged again. So it's a failed break above it. And ES has not quite done it. Very, very close. You can see that. Whereas QQQ has a long way to go. We need to run these stops and use these stops to get up there if they're going to do it. They might not do it today. You might see divergence between the Qs and the ES today on that gap fill. Would not surprise me at all to see divergence there and an initial balance rotation. But I would like them to at least come and run these stops. At the moment, they're unable to do it. We're getting stuck at Globex, the orange line. Back down we come, down to this same level. So can they now trap sellers down here and do one last squeeze up? They won't do it if they're unwilling to do it on ES. All right, if we're just going to trade the range, remember, if you're a range trader, this is like your bread and butter. I would say buyers stepped in earlier today at 900 and 895. They will want to rebid that. If they cannot rebid that, we will go wash right back down to the other side of the range again. If they cannot rebid here, we will wash right back down to the other side of the range again. Sellers getting caught on that last little shove down underneath 905s. So maybe they've got a chance here. We just filled that imbalance. I'd say 900 to 89 is key. 900 to 89 is key for buyers to absorb the tape. 900 to 89 is key down here. Since I started trading with you, I've been more profitable. That's great. Okay, down into that same level. We just talked about it. 900 down to 89. We just chapped 89.25. This was the level. They will need to lift this now. If they don't lift this, if they get a breakdown under here, we will wash all the way back down. Buyers must hold this area now to complete the rotation. Buyers must hold this in here to complete this rotation. Failing to hold this in here will collapse this whole thing back down again. This is your node. I mean, at least down to here. Right, this is the node. So at the moment, we're not seeing what they need to do happen. They're coming into the key level and waiting to see if sellers get trapped. We're not seeing it. The liquidity looks pretty terrible on the book right now. They're just stacking both sides. Here they go. They're trying now to lift. Here's the 910s. Can they lift through this and get going now? So 900 to 890 held well. No lift through the 10s. They tried. That 15 seller just came on. Big block just been put in there. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. They don't know what they want to do with it. Back down to the 90s. They're going to come try and get back to the 900s. Big seller stepping in at 900s. He just slammed it. He just slammed it. 100 lot. He's chasing it down now. He is chasing it down with size now. He's had enough. He's been like, piss off. I'm done with you guys. You're annoying me. He came in with some serious size there for the chase. So that 900s and 890s big, big level now. All right, he came in. He chased it down, followed through down, all the way down into 82s. Low of that auction was pretty good. So we'll see. His pain point now will be the 900s. It's where he started chasing in for some big follow through. He had big, big size. $900 will be his pain point. It's where he came in. If we lift through 900, we'll test 915s. He's still got a passive order up there. Oh, the chop and the slop. There's nothing to do. Still he's selling. He's selling hard. Came in very aggressive again. So back into no man's land, the other side of this node. If we lose this node, like I said, it's likely that it would come down into here. So no follow through at the top. We didn't even take this high. Divergence to ES didn't fill this gap. Even ES didn't fill that gap, but the SPY did. And we are losing this, and we might well wash all the way back down now if they do. Very possible. Here's the wash. There you go. No position. No position for me. Certainly not. Not going to trade inside here. I've made that about as clear as I can. I'm not going to trade inside any of this. For this exact reason. Look what they do. They're telling you what they do. Right? It's not just telling you today. It's telling you overnight. It's telling you yesterday. We can keep looking at this exact level, right? This is this level. We'd have to go back to November and October, but this same level has been traded so many times and it's sloppy. There you go. Same level, guys. Getting tight now on the profile. Okay, maybe we'll do some giveaways because this is getting boring at this point. 1,400 of you watching. Let's get it up to 1,000 likes. 686 likes right now, and we do some giveaways. Go for a coffee or bathroom so we have a wash. Yeah. There you go. So Maxim saying beautiful sell of the range. Yeah, if you're a range trader, this is what we've talked about, right? If you're a range trader, this should be your bread and butter, shouldn't it? If you're a range trader, this should be your bread and butter. I'm not a range trader. I try and avoid the ranges. We get this up to 1,000 likes and we'll give away some Apex accounts and stuff. And all that good stuff. All right, I'll give you a minute. I'm going to use the bathroom, come back, and we do that giveaway, do an Apex giveaway. All right, right back down we come. Right, how many likes? We got enough? Can we do a giveaway? Look at that. I walk away and like 200 people just disappear. It's hilarious. I haven't done it yet, guys. Jeez, slow down. Nothing's been set up. I can't do anything yet. If you keep entering, we can't do the competition. Stop. 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 Stop it. I have to give away something else first now, just to like fix it. You crazy people. All right, we're going to give away the course first because you guys keep typing the wrong thing. So type course. Just type it once and we give away a beginner course. Just type it once, guys. Otherwise you'll get booted out by Nightbot and then you can't win it. So just type it once. Give away a free course. And then I want 1,000 likes to do the Apex giveaways, please. So at least 200 more. And this market is not doing anything. So we're going to do some fun stuff instead. Spy back down to its view up. What are we doing, market? Are you going to give any follow through anywhere today? It's probably going to be a Monday. Maybe an afternoon. You might get something in the afternoon. I expect they will run the stops at some point in the afternoon. I'll give you guys 30 more seconds. It's just the introduction course, guys. So it's just a 2-hour course. It's for someone that's never traded before. It does give you some money off the main course though as well. All right, going to pull this winner. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spearhead Media Group. Why do I feel like I've seen that name before? Have you won before? Spearhead Media Group. Let me know you're here. Still holding that New York Open right now. Let me know you're here, Spearhead Media Group. Oh, nice. Awesome. Okay, same thing as before. You can even do it to the same email. Okay, just info@flowzonetrader.com. Right, and I'll sort you out with that course, my friend. You're welcome. No worries, no worries. You guys are nuts in chat today, man. Crazy people. What's going on? Right, you need to get me to 1,000 likes, 150 more likes, and we'll start doing some giveaways. We are just stuck. This market is absolutely stuck. You can see value area low on the session, value area high on the session. We are in a D-shaped profile. We are just in a range rotation. Nothing is changing here. There's no movement. We're not finding acceptance lower. We're not finding acceptance higher. We're just stuck on each edge. I'd love us to just do something. Tesla's absolutely screaming right now, which is probably holding NQ up pretty well. Look at that relative strength all the way up into the old highs. It might come up for one more test and then see if they fade it. So I'd imagine Tesla will at least test this, if not wick that, and then see if it rolls over. And then once it does that, maybe you'll see acceptance lower if the rest of the market wants to join in. Right now, we're just inside value. And we're basically the same levels as we've had all days, right? 850, 860s up here is the same level that we talked about all day where we tested here and failed. Right, we're now starting to just build a ton of liquidity out here. Shelf above is at 73s. So this now is becoming more and more pivotal as you're over under for sentiment. Why only a few people get repeated prizes. It's done totally at random. You can see when I pull it, it's just there seem to be lucky. Yeah, exactly. Inside bar daily, we're inside the current week, we're inside the previous day's value is what we talked about in Discord, right? We expect rotation. We expect rotation. It's our expectation today. Where do you get data about buyers and sellers? You would need to use a footprint indicator or Bookmap. Right? You need footprint charts or Bookmap. You would need to understand what you're looking at as well. So we're still holding, for now, still holding previous week value area high. I want to see if we flush under this or if we're going to rebid and rotate again. We're just pinned. We are pinned between 5-day and 20 days right now. Willing to play lower again. Same thing if we move outside of range. Otherwise, not willing to play it. Willing to play high if we move outside of range. I use a 1 minute, a 5 minute, and like sometimes I'll look at like a 30 or even a daily sometimes just to see key levels from the day before. But 1 and 5 are my main areas. Like in this current 5 minute bar, right? Buyers keep stepping in over 42s and failing. Sellers keep stepping in under that and failing. So that's like the key level right now is like the 42s in this bar. If we look at the previous couple bars, we had buyers step in at 60s and no acceptance. So we're just stuck, right, between 60s and basically this low here, 30s. We're just completely stuck right now. Footprint on TradingView or Ninja better. Probably a little bit better on Ninja, but I mean, the TradingView one, I actually do like. I think it looks pretty good. I think it's pretty easy to read. Heavy delta coming in here. Let's see if they get follow through. They're trying to step on the book here. These 50s and 60s keep rejecting. We're starting to get under it, but we have now a base that we created this morning from this little imbalance. So maybe we fill the imbalance. Imbalance is all the way down to 15s. 815 is the actual imbalance. It's actually here. It's not this whole thing. It's actually 815 is the imbalance. So there's the 20s. Seller came in at 25s there and got himself caught. As they continue to rotate, what is easier to decipher at a glance, footprint or bookmap? That's a really good question. They're both honestly, they're both exactly the same. I'd say bookmap's easier to see like the current momentum because the bubbles are showing you like the runs on market liquidity. And the other thing with bookmap that you get that you don't get on footprint charts is the resting liquidity. On a footprint chart, you can't see the resting liquidity. So maybe bookmap. What is an imbalance? It's where we've had a big move where we didn't get to fill, where we leave like gaps in liquidity in the market. And if they just held this rotation again, back through the 50s, now squeeze back up into this grey box. Now they have to see if they reject the grey box and come down, or if they reclaim the grey box and go again. It's just getting pretty shitty in here, guys. Not much to do. Yes, absolutely. Rotation is absolutely the name of the game today. So up to that grey box. So far, they can't get through the grey box. So rotation back down to where we just came from. There you go. Again, they're just small rotations now as well inside a bigger rotation. It's a very choppy area, like we talked about at the beginning of the stream, going back to November 5th. We're going back to November 5th, the top of the stream. All right, we're at 1,000 yet. We're still not 1,000. Come on, guys. We need like 125 of you to hit the like button and we can give away some stuff. No, imbalances are not fair value gaps. It's the same thing, but look, the difference is you guys mark the whole area. And I'd need to turn it on here because I don't have it on, but to reset this, reload. Stack levels. Okay, here, you see this imbalance? You guys would mark it out as the whole thing. You guys would mark this whole thing out. The imbalance actually isn't down until here. Right, that's where they didn't get filled. So same principle, but accuracy is different when you actually see the order flow. And actually, it's even better on Ninja, if I'm honest. How do I get that page on TradingView? There's a free video on my YouTube. Just go to my YouTube. I literally show you how to set it up and what my settings are. Just go on my YouTube. It came out like a week ago. I think I put that out. Yeah, I know, FC Mike. It's crazy. It's been nuts. It has been nuts. All right, so grey box to previous week value. Area high is the rotation right now. Still no follow through either side of this. VIX reclaiming PDC. Let's see if VIX wants to get back up into these 1750s, which would give downside follow through if it does. Yes, right into that New York Open. Let's see if it loses this New York Open. So these 50s and 60s, same kind of level as we had earlier, same kind of level starting to reject now. We're coming down towards this imbalance we talked about all the way down into 15, right? And let's see if they bid around these 15s. Right, so we just talked about it here. This is the actual imbalance. which we're coming down towards, all the way down to, I actually have it on Ninja as like 17 to 14 as like the big level of that. And let's see. For footprints, yeah, for footprints, I use a 1 minute and a 5 minute. And sometimes I'll just peak the 30. Actually, that like 1 and 5 is enough. Like this is my 5 over here, which I have up all the time, right? So it's my delta build out here. I can see the key levels of where the sellers got stuck or sellers came in hard at 60. Imbalances here. You can see we're going to come and fill this first imbalance into the 15s. There we go. Just tapped him. And if we fill the next one, you wouldn't even have an imbalance, you ICT guys, but there is actually one down here. There you go. So we just filled it, found a little bid. Alex doesn't know what he's talking about. Listen to the crazy old man though. All right. So if there's follow through now, we'll probably come down to 801s if there was follow through. Right, I want to give away 2 Apex accounts today because you guys have been amazing this week. Very, very supportive. How are we doing for likes? Not bad, not bad, not bad. Is it possible to get that template? Again, it's on my YouTube, mate. Or do you mean the Ninja one? Ninja one's a paid one. What are they called? Cidi. Okay, FZT, type it in chat once. That's your code for 90% off with Apex and most of the prop firms out there. That will get you the best discount. Type it in chat once. We'll do a giveaway right now for a free Apex account. Just type it once. You don't need to spam. If you spam, all it does is pull you out. All right, all it does is pull you out. Oh, Victor, I've just seen your name. Let me sort you out here, Victor. How do I get to... All trading views on one, isn't it? Absolutely on one. Let me see if I can get to you. There we go. Give you guys 30 more seconds. Get back for the 50 test here. All right, pulling this winner then. 5, 4, gosh, there's lots of you. 3, 2, and 1. Dopamine. Dopamine 5578. Dopamine 5578. Are you here, Dopamine? Are you here, Dopamine? Market coming back down. Do they come lower now? Back into this same area where these sellers keep trying to come in at the 25s. Remember, it was the 25 break we played lower earlier. This is ES into its 20-day here. Do we find acceptance lower right now? Yeah, nice. Congratulations, Dopamine. Okay, all I want you to do is email me, please. info@flowzonetrader.com. Send a screenshot of yourself logged in to your YouTube so I know it's you. I've made a note of your name. Send me a screenshot of that, and I'm going to sort you out with a free Apex account, any size that you want, any type of account, any size you want on Apex. Okay, still no continuation underneath these 25, still holding that old imbalance of 15s, still in this rotation, still no acceptance outside of any of this. If we do, we know that down here might want to be filled. If we get acceptance under this grey box, then we're going to look for down here. But until then, just being very, very cautious about looking for anything else. Does the shape of the previous day's distribution give you a clue about the next day's profile? Absolutely, but it also matters where we open up. All right, so yesterday was a big B shape. Right, if you go from the open, it was a B shape, but we are still basically trading inside of yesterday, aren't we? All right, so if we think about yesterday, yesterday's value was here. We are not moving value up, are we? We're not moving value higher, right? We're trading in the same level. In fact, we're trading right around previous day's value area high and point of control, right? This was fair value yesterday. If we decide yesterday's fair value is too expensive, then we can think about these rotations down here, which is what I'm willing to play outside of here. But at the moment, we're not able to do that. All right, and we're not able to decide that yesterday's value was too cheap and move it up. So we're just creating more liquidity out. All right, watching this now, zooming in now to see if we're going to find acceptance lower at this point. Back to that old imbalance. Can we come and flush down underneath all of this now? Are we going to get acceptance underneath this grey box and really start working our way into 39s and 700s, 690s, and maybe even 650s if we got very lucky? Big ask for the day because we've not been able to move outside of anything yet. Alex, can I ask what website you use to see the sectors like healthcare, tech stocks? Yes, I use Finviz. All right, so I use it for my scans as well for swings. It's free. You can just log in. So it will probably freeze. It always freezes when I seem to do it on stream up here. All right, so Finviz. There you go. It's already frozen. It's such a dodgy website. Come on. It really does not like this site for some reason. Give it a second. Give that a second to load because there we go. All right, so if you come down, all right, that shows you the breadth. As you can see, healthcare starting to go red. It was very green this morning, so ES starting to sell off now. You can see the sectors, and if you go here, you'll see like all the top gainers and the top losers, and you can actually create some scans, right? So if you go to Screener, if you're looking for stocks, you can scan things like over the 50-day or X amount of days up or PE ratio, or lots of things. I go through it all in the course. Okay, back to the grey box. So we're starting to see potential acceptance of lower prices here. Back into that key area, initial balance low. We're starting to see potential acceptance of lower prices here if we start breaking down away from these levels now. Back down towards this grey box where we found a bid earlier. Remember, this is off previous day's profile. Right, when we look left, or the current week profile, we know that there is a node here from 808, let's call it down to 878. Don't move that, Alex. If we find acceptance under the grey box, we have the 20-day at 750, so we could target 750, and then we could really target 700. So watching this now to see if we find acceptance lower for the short, and we're starting to come into the IB, starting to see aggressive selling here in this now for a continuation. Second attempt down here, stop already moving down. Let's see how far we can move. Can we break the low of day and get out of this grey box? Can we get out of this grey box? Come on then. Nice. ES starting to lose a bid as well. I want to see ES sweep this low, taking a partial here towards this bottom end of this wick where sellers got stuck this morning. And let's see if we reject this grey box and a pullback inside. So now what I'm now watching is to see if we're going to do this to here and here, which would be a nice way to end the stream. And we're very aware that this can be a fail break, a reclaim, and a go upside, especially if ES sweeps this or one of them sweeps this. So if we don't see a reaction here soon, I'll cut the runner again. And then I'll consider re-adding if we stay, nope, if we stay heavy at 820. All right, I'll consider a re-add if we stay heavy up here. If we reclaim this, I won't add. So far, so good. Yes, doesn't sweat, does it? No. SPY is literally doing 5-day, 20-day rotation. Literally exactly what it's doing. All right, let's see if they start washing this. Have we got any bids lower today? Nothing under 780. 730. Okay, what is 730? That is what I want. All right, that might help if we can get heavy here. He's just come on the book down there. Come on, guys. Just step on it. At least wash. Watching ES for the wash here. I want to be very careful. If one of us breaks the low and turns inside, I want to be careful. Sellers keep getting stuck around the sort of 79 area. So we need to see follow through underneath 79 to continue to hold this. Here we go. Is 80 test. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, baby. Where are you on the book? Twos. Where's that outlier? 90s. 83 is big level. Big level. Come on. Fucking do it. All right, ES now sweeping. Want to be careful if ES reclaims IB here because we just took the liquidity that we're trying to attack here on NQ. So ES has already just taken this out. Do not want to hold this all the way back up to 820. Not going to give back 30 points in a rotation in case it squeezes. Can re-add there. Willing to cut and re-add there if we don't get this wash down. I think we're going to get this wash down. Come on. Thank you. Right, let's see if we get previous week close now. Let's see if we get previous week close now. Oh my God, how patient have I had to be for this today? All right, watching the 50s. We have a slight node. We have the 20-day at 50s. And we're going to see if we can get this. Let's go. Fuck yeah. My God. How patient have we needed to be to this? All right, let's see if we can get this now. We should break lower at this point. We're into the 20-day here. 20-day is basically right here into 53s, where you can see my mouse. I can move you to show you what I'm looking at, higher time frame. All right, here's my 20-day, this purple line. If we find acceptance under this 20-day, right, this is mean based on the Bollinger Bands. If we find acceptance under this, I'm watching this node, right? My expectation is for us to come down here if we can wash under 50. Right, so I'm trying to hold a runner for this move here, and we also have previous week close at 38. So 40, 50 and 40s, we need acceptance under 50 and 40s, and then we will get 700 or 692s. All right, so we built liquidity all day. We're starting to use this liquidity now. All right, watching this little level here and this gray box, this gray level here. So if we can get under this, then I'm looking for this and this. All right, we do not want reclaims here now. Okay, we can probably slightly adjust this based on volume soon. But yeah, at least we got something. Jeez Louise, like it takes so much patience to be willing to let the market chop for ages and then just take what's available. Am I in? Yes, I'm in. Yes, yes, yes. I don't want this to reclaim IB. Do not want a reclaim of IB. We look at if anyone's watching SPY, anyone who's done the course, look at high day on SPY, 5-day. Look at the low of day that we just tagged in SPY, 20-day. All right, 5-day to 20-day rotation. It's a very common rotation. We talk about it in the course a lot. Okay, back testing this gray box. They must stay heavy in and around here. All right, I will not let them reclaim this and squeeze me out back up to here. If they stay heavy here, then I'm looking for that. If they reclaim it, I will cut this. I want to see buyers caught into this level. All right, we want to see buyers come aggressively in, that we're starting to see here. This is good. So we want to see more of this, more buying, please. Getting stuck. Want to be careful. That auction at the low is actually a very good auction of the low. But if we see buyers caught stuck, we will wash down. Here we go. So there's the buyers caught. Can we get acceptance under here now? I'm going to show you in real time what I'm trying to look for. Let's go, baby. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. 50s big level. 50s big level. Even on the book, they're starting to try and stack 50s. If we wash 50s, let's see what's underneath. Yeah, still got 730 on the book. So I would like to get down into that 737 for me. There's 730 on the book, but 737 previous week close. Important level for me. Here we go. ES is really starting to wash now. Who's this buy that caught? What level were you? 79. All right, we don't want it above 80s. We do not want this above 80s. Come on, let's go. Come on, come on. Take out 50 and just wash to 37. Come on, let's go. Step on it, sellers. Get under 53. We're outlying delta at 53. We've got to get under 53s here. There's a 235 lot outlying delta at 53. We will need to get under 53, and then we can have some drift. Come on, sellers, please, please come and play. Come and pay me on a Friday. Don't want it above 80, and I want it under 53. I think we get continuation if we get some strong closure under 53. Please do not just wash it up without hitting my last target. We'll cut this above 80. Do not want it above 80. Out. Out. Out for me. I can always re-add. Just out based on, oh, what's going on there? Based on where they positioned. So out on this. Can re-add. I will re-add if we start losing this bid, but this comes a bit of a squeeze above 80. If they pull back and hold 80 now, they can re-squeeze up. So out on this, just based on what I'm seeing on the tape. They knock me out and fucking dunk at 100 points. I will be absolutely frothing. ES rejecting that IB low. So ES is actually being much, much better. It came to IB low to the tick, but still holding the 20-day. Why do I have a bad feeling they're going to do this? Imbalance here that they're refilling. You absolute fuck faces. You fuck faces. Oh! Should have given it room. Should have given it room. Right, I can re-add if I need to. Right, more buyers came in here. What level are they at? 88s, 90s. They're selling 90s and 800s. I'm not sure we're finished going lower yet. It's a good reaction on ES. I'm out of this at the moment. We'll re-add if I can see enough buyers get caught for the wash. Want to be very careful if it's a break of low of day and a reclaim, just like we had earlier in the morning, right? So being very, very cognizant of that. Is that the right word? I think it's the right word. Being cognizant of it. All right, grey box. Big level is over under. VIX into a pivot as well. So we're looking for VIX to get back above 1760s. Yeah, 1760s. Above 1760s, we have a gap fill to 1780s on the VIX, possible. Let's see if they lift this 800. They're trying to squeeze 800 now. ES still under its IB. They're trying to squeeze through 800 to see if they lift. They are offering all the way up to 25s now, so I've got to be careful on any re-entry thought here. If we reclaim initial balance, it would be a failed auction. But this grey box is a big level off the developing week, like we talked about. Do we see some follow through? Value area low on the day, up at 820 for me. 830 on here. 825-ish on Ninja. Buyers trying to step in for this squeeze now. Like I said, they're offering all the way up to 820 here. So reclaiming IB. ES still has not reclaimed its IB, but NQ is reclaiming the initial balance, and it's going to lift up towards these 820s like we talked about. That's why I didn't want to sit in this for the squeeze. And let's see if they resell this or not. Otherwise, we go straight back inside the range. So it really depends. If they trap enough buyers up here and then close back under 800, certainly if they close under 790, there's another selling opportunity. So if this is a squeeze to be resold, it could be fun. This 800's key now. They're trying to bid the 800s. If we start closing under 800 and 790, I'll be re-interested in a short again, but not before that. Good selling here. Nice. Let's see if we can get under these 790s now. Big pivot here. Back to that IB. Now, if we've trapped enough buys here, which it looks like we have, we need to close under 790 and we will get heavy. We've got to get back under the IB. Get back under this grey box, under the IB. If we're going to wash, we're going to have to do that. Not going to enter before that. Battle here. Big battle here. 800 reclaim. Still no entry for me. Not underneath initial balance yet. So they can come up and test value again. So I am willing to play short side if we trap enough buyers in a push up, which is sold into, if we close back under here. Right? I'm willing to sell that. I'm not willing to sell in this shove up into here. Not yet. Not unless I really see buyers really get caught offside. ES reclaiming now as well. It's coming back up to its New York Open. So here's the squeeze. So 20s is the level. 20s to 25, same levels we talked about earlier. If they reclaim that, it's 50s and 60s. Same levels we've talked about all day, right? Same levels we talked about in here, right? So I need to see buyers start to get trapped here and closing underneath all of this to be confident about new lows. What are you guys saying? We've got people... Just made 4K from the range top of the grey box. Thanks, Alex. Give me confidence for that. Nice, yeah. So you're a range trader, which is perfect. So you traded from up here to down here. It's perfect. Perfect. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can get some closes under here or not. Let's see if they trap some buyers down here now. Still holding the level for now. So IB still being absorbed. Can you please show the 5-day and 20-day you're talking about? Yeah, I'd have to bring this over from the other screen here. And kind of move you down into this. See this? Can you see this chart here? 5-day, 20-day. That's the rotation. Right? And on Qs underneath, we haven't quite made it, but that's the rotation. That's how they build liquidity out. That is exactly how they build liquidity out in a higher time frame. All right, reclaiming or attempting to reclaim value here. ES into New York Open in 24-hour VWAP. Very possible of a squeeze back out if they get through these levels. All right, so the squeeze will happen. I will not be playing this because it would be a range trade. We should reject this and do this. If they reclaim this, we will go back to high of day. If they reclaim this area here, they probably go back to high of day. I'm waiting for confirmation. It's very hard here while they do these washy positions. I'm watching for closes underneath the initial balance to see if we can stay heavy, if we can trap enough buyers trying to reclaim value, which we might well have just done. ES, very hard rejection of the New York Open there. Watching this now to see if there's a short setting up, if we can start getting heavy underneath the initial balance. We need to be careful of 780 and 756 if we get closes. 780 is where a big seller came in earlier. Still there holding the IB. That grey box. We will see. All right, 60 more likes for another Apex giveaway. We got 25 minutes left to do it. Past 2 evals on the short. Nice work, mate. Nice work. Chris, 800 on the funded, calling it a day. Nice work, buddy. Good work, everyone. I'm just waiting for a re-entry here. So I've had one go at it, made some money. I'm waiting for a re-entry here to see if we stay heavy. I'm not going to force my way in the market. If they want to keep holding ranges, I will not force my way. Here we go. Starting to see some heaviness now. So if we can stay heavy here, I'm interested in the short. It's got to stay heavy here because I know that sellers got stuck at 80, right? Sellers got stuck at 80, big levels, 84, 80, and then down at 56. That's where the sellers got stuck. That low of day auction is pretty good at the moment. It's a shame we didn't hit some TPs on it, all the final TPs in it. Do I enter big and immediately size down for TP2 and TP3? I mean, I wouldn't say I enter big in a range day. It's not an A+ trade for me. But yes, I obviously, if we get to TP1, TP2, I'm taking positions off. I'm not adding. I'm taking positions off. We're not in a trend, right? So I'm not adding to my winners in a market like this. I'm just peeling off and moving stops. Which prop firms allows me to immediately pass evals? Apex, you mean on the same day? Apex, maybe funded next bolt. I'm not sure. I'd have to check. Okay, back down to this same level. Still waiting to see if we close under this and stay heavy. If we can build enough buyers trapped in here and we close under this, I will look for a wash. Otherwise, there's no play. Lucid, yeah. Do Lucid have one that does? No, I think Lucid is 50 and 60%. So I think 2 days or 3 days on. 2 days is the quickest you can do it on Lucid, I think. I think there's a wash down here. Where are they adding 70s? So choppy. What would be my buy price? Probably, like, I'm not going to buy it today, but probably a reclaim of this kind of area here. If they do that, then I would expect we'd complete the rotation from one side of value to the other, because that would be a failed auction, undervalue. If we reclaim this, then I'd expect we'd come back to the other side of value, I guess. Again, I'm not looking for that. It's not a trade that I'm looking for. Same way as I'm not looking to fade the top. I'm just not looking to do that. I'm waiting to see if there's continuation. If there's not, I'm not going to play it. It's just rules that I have. What would the short entry look like? I think we've talked about it quite a few times. It would have to be like this, right? Under here. Need to be a heavy close and a rejection with buyers stuck. If we don't get that, there's no short for me anyway, for what I'm looking for. No, I pin it every day. I pin the anchored profile every day. So starting to reclaim or potentially reclaim that previous week value area high, right into that same node. ES back to VWAP and the New York Open again. Yeah, for educational purposes. I've just told you what I'm looking for. I don't understand you guys who want a signal. I've literally told you what I'm looking for. So where do you think my entry would be? Like, I told you here, I'm looking for reject of 50 and a break of 25. Where do you think my entry would be? It'd be here, wouldn't it? It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. You act like I don't tell you. I don't understand. I tell you what I'm looking for. It's not like it's like mystical. I'm literally telling you. I draw it. I even draw it out. I even draw it out. Do I see value in backtesting? Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of value in backtesting for sure. Oh. I know they do. I know they do. Can I put a traffic light behind you? What green? What would it be? Like green for buy, red for short, yellow for do nothing. All right, let's see. Let's see if we close heavy again here. So rejection of previous week value area high. We're still not underneath the initial balance. Still just fanning around here. Market doesn't know what it wants to do. And we've got, what, 20 minutes left. How are we doing for time? 20 minutes left. We're almost there, guys. We're almost at 1,000 likes. Once we hit 1,000 likes, we'll do some more giveaways. Maybe I'll give away one more introduction course and one more Apex account. Oh my God, this is like so sloppy. So sloppy. All you got to do is like look at a 5 minute right now. Have we got a 5 minute here? What is that? What is that? That is dreadful. That is about as bad as you get, guys. That's dreadful. Okay, back inside. So if they hold their rotation now, if they hold 23s, I would expect that they'd drift all the way up to 900s. I would still be more interested in the short underneath IB. At the moment, we've reclaimed it. Back to value area low. This is the move that we just talked about. Do they absorb here? Do they now absorb here and then go right back to the top side? I will not be playing this long, but if you were looking long, that's what you would want to see. You'd want to see them absorb 23s and start to lift onto 880s and then 900, which is what you're starting to see. This is value. If they can hold a bid here, big if, then you're looking for that. I'm going to look for this move here. That's what I'm going to look for personally. What is the Discord membership for? Oh, I'm not really sure what that question is. The market's being a wallet. It is. It's making its mind up, isn't it? It's building a lot of liquidity. A lot of liquidity. I'm buying the initial balance breakdown or waiting for the retest. I'm not buying it. I'm going to look to sell underneath it. I'm going to look for continuation under it. I'm not going to buy a rotation play today. I've decided, I've already made that decision from before we opened, right? I made the decision before we opened. I am not looking to trade between these today. I am avoiding this. If you go back to the very start of the day, 9:15, I told you I am avoiding this. I have zero interest in trading this. If we base, I will trade. If we base, I will trade. I will not trade this. If you are a range trader, there are trades here for you. I am avoiding this. This is a decision I made before the market opened. I will not be trading this. Like I said, it's holding value. I would imagine a break of 50s now is going to lift you to 80s and then up to the 900s. So if you are a range trader, it's going to pay you pretty well by the looks of it. Right. Let's set this up. Okay. We're going to do another Apex giveaway because you got me to 1,000 likes. Thanks for all the new followers. Just type FCT once in chat. And then we'll give it 2 minutes and we'll pull the winner. So just type it once. Please don't spam it. It won't help you win. It will make sure you don't win. Please don't spam it. So you lifted into this area here. Still waiting to see if my trade comes. It probably doesn't look like it's going to develop today. Does not look like it develop. All right, how are we doing? 30 seconds longer or so, and then we'll pull the winner. I would love it if it gave me my trade today. It'd be fun. But we will see. At the moment, we're now holding value. So you're still holding value here of the 20s. Alex will trade short underneath the initial balance if it stays heavy and we've trapped enough buyers. We may well have trapped enough buyers now, especially this big lot here that came in at the last high. But we will see. We've got to get underneath IB for me to be interested. I am not interested otherwise. No way, Jose. Yes, rejecting that New York VWAP, coming back down to its IB now. It's almost at IB already. NQ lagging behind it. Right, let's pull this winner because then I'm going to have to zoom in. Top Seg. Top Seg. Let me know you're here, Top Seg. You've won a free Apex account, Top Seg. Let me know you're here. And all you want you to do is email me info@flowzonetrader.com with a screenshot of you logged in. But just let me know you're here. I'll give you 30 seconds to reply. We're still holding this grey box. I'm still looking for the same trade, folks. Nothing has changed, right? Buyers are still trying to bid off this. I am interested in this move here and nothing else. So I'm avoiding everything else. Buyers are still in control over this grey box. As you can see, they're still holding it. ES just held IB. We are just in full rotation right now. Top Seg, you've got about 20 more seconds to reply. Top Seg 2127. Otherwise, we're going to re-roll it. I will just automatically choose someone else. I'll give you 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're choosing someone else. Mike Hinatex or Hinat X1212. Are you here? Mike, are you here? Coming down to this IB, I'm really interested if we start getting under this again. Watching this very intently now, guys, because I'm starting to see some heavy action coming down towards these 790s. Big level here. I'm watching this intently now. Especially if they reject value area low and trade under the grey box, right? Like we've talked about. That would be preferable. You just held a little imbalance there. Yes, still bidding off IB. Yes, nice. Thank you, Mike. Sorry, just see you replied. All right. Email me, please, sir. info@flowzonetrader.com. Send me a screenshot of you logged in. And we are going to get you set up with a free Apex account. Congratulations. Don't forget, guys, all the prop firms use code FCT. Other than Take Profit, you can use code FlowZone. That will always get you the best deal on pretty much every prop firm out there. I'm still looking for the same trade, guys. Nothing has changed. For those of you who are like, tell me when you're in, tell me when you're in, tell me when you're in. We've got to get under this, right? We've got to get under this pivot for me to be interested. Until we get under that pivot, I am not interested. Once we get under it, I will consider it, and I will be covering some of my play down into low of day because we have some sellers caught from 60 and under, and then I will be trying to get into previous week close, which is at 40, and then I'll be trying to get into previous week point of control, which is basically just under 690. All right, so we're coming down into this IB now. I'm getting very interested now in how we react. All right, so I'm watching this now. I'm zoomed in to see if they're going to sell through this and if they offer me a trade or not. At the moment, buyers are still protecting this node here. You can see this shelf right here. At the moment, they're still protecting it. Come on, baby. It's looking good. There's a buyer at 790s. There's a seller at 805. So I just want to see if we can get under these and have this seller come and chase down. Here's the 90s. Come on, you mother cluckers. Let's have some fun here. Let's see if we can get this short now. Come on. Come on. They're covering at 70. Here we go. Here we go. Right, watching 80s carefully because this is where sellers got stuck this morning. Here we go, is the 80s. Let's see if we get continuation now. Watching 80s and 70s, watching for a wash through 70s. Here we go. Right, ideally now we can get down into 59. And ideally now retest stays heavy, otherwise I will have to cut it. This is like a few attempts at this trade today. This might be the third attempt at kind of the same kind of trade here. Let's see, I'm already paying myself some, so no matter what, we'll make money on this. Come on, man. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come down to low of day and snap it. Come on. Bids here at 70, 60, and 50. I want to be careful into 60. These are all levels. All right, in here. Get this delta up. In here, I'm watching these levels, right? So 80, 70, and then 60. And then if we get acceptance, then we can really get heavy. At the moment, we're not seeing it, right? Already starting to reclaim IB. Or attempting to. So grey box key. Can we stay heavy versus this box? Definitely versus 801s. All right, want to stay heavy versus 801s. They are starting to stack 70 now. Big buyer, well, big-ish for today. Big-ish for today here. Here we go. Come on. Got to get under 70 now. Come on. They're trying to protect it. It's that big level we just talked about. Just showed you it on stream, right? Just this guy here. See this? It's where that big seller is. We need to get under that for continuation. If we fail to get under that, we can squeeze. All right, so be protective of profits. Make sure you're paying yourself today, please. Back to IB, back to grey box, probably. If we fail to break lower, this will be a failure to make a new low. Shorts will get caught. So this is why we've got to be very careful here. We do not hold on reclaims of 800. Certainly not. Certainly not. There's IB test. They're going to come up for 800 by the looks of it. Any break of 800, I will be gonzo. Here's the 800. All right, out now. And can always enter back in later, but probably going to call it a day there with 7 minutes left. All right, I owe you guys another course, right? How many have we done? Yes, we'll do one more. How did I win? I literally just entered. I entered on the break here and I moved stop, right? And I take profit. I manage my expectations, don't I? Right? That's still 90 down to 60, right? Still 25 points. All right, let me set this up. We're going to give away, where has it gone? All right, giving away one more course here. So just type course in. They might still set this up. And they'll probably set it up without me if they do it now. We'll just type course into chat. We'll give one more introduction course away. Over 800, there's potentially a squeeze. Certainly if they go back inside the value area. It's just messy right now. It's probably me done for the day. I've had a few attempts at that. Made a little bit of money today, but not a lot. Not great money today, but we haven't had a lot to play with. No continuation. So just type course once. Give you guys another 30 seconds and we'll pull that winner. And then don't forget those in Discord. We're going to do a live lesson afterwards. Maybe just give me a minute to go and get some coffee. All right, let's pull this winner. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh, look at that. Well, you can give it to a friend or family member then, Nate. Just shoot me, hit me up on Discord, bud. Hit me up on Discord because I know you're already a member, but you can give it to a family or friend or something like that. Nice to see a member win something. It'd be private lessons, I think. Or hang on, let me have a look. Where do we normally do it? It will be, we have to do on the one we share. If we go to voice channel, we'll do it there in general. Or where do we normally do it? If we can do it in private lessons and I can share the screen, we'll do it there. Let's have a look. Can we do that? We should be able to. I'll announce it in the main channel, bud. I'll announce it in the main channel. Okay, it's going to do it now, isn't it? Now that I'm out, it's going to do it, isn't it? It's just sod's law. It has to fuck around in this grey box so much that it drives me insane. We have built sufficient liquidity now. I tell you what, we've done the move. We have built sufficient liquidity now. I think that is very possible now. If you're still in this, you need a break under 70. That's where the seller keeps getting stuck. I've said it so many times. This guy here, this delta here, you need a break under 70. It is a good auction at the lows, but there is an imbalance underneath. So if you get 70s, you might get 60s and 50s quick. And if you snap that, then we're looking for 690. All right, you're looking 690 if you can snap it all. Big if, buts, and maybes, but that's what you're looking at. Hopefully it does it for you. It'd be really nice if it gives you, if you get from 790 to 690, that's a 100-point trade to end the week with. So you never know. I feel like you deserve it. Did I ever DJ in Aberdeen? Yeah, I did. Remind me of the clubs up there. I think I played a New Year's Eve up there, like a Liquid and Envy or something. I think that was Aberdeen. I'll text Steph in a minute and ask him. If not, I did play quite a famous club in Scotland, but I can't remember if that was Aberdeen or somewhere else. All right, here's your lower day break. So your next cover now is into this 38. All right, that's previous week close. All right, so your runners now, there's your low of day. Oh my God, it knocks Alex out just to take the piss out of me. All right, it swipes me out. Here's your low of day. So TP1, TP2, TP3, and if you got very lucky, all the way down into these. Oh, you... Yeah, you just you fucker. All right, they're adding at 50s and 45s now. What were the clubs called in Aberdeen, mate? I think I might have played with Ilias and Barrientos down there, up there, I should say. Ministry Liquid. Maybe that's what it was then. It would have been the New Year's Eve. I definitely played. I definitely played a New Year's Eve in Scotland, and it might have been then. All right, previous week close coming up, folks. And if you get a snap under that, and then you look good for that move towards previous week point of control towards the 700. So you might well get 790 to 690. For those in Discord, that was like one of the trades we were looking at today, right? If you think about what we talked about in Discord this morning, what did I give you this morning? Be flexible. Under 900, 850 previous day low possible. Over 900, 26k, 26,100 possible. So we're under 900, under 850. Under 900, under 850. Under these kind of levels here. 850. It's a big level all day. Under that, previous day low. These kind of moves into these are possible. Here we go. Congrats if you're in this. I think you're going to get it into lunch. His previous week close, this grey line. I think you look good. You should get previous week close here. Oh, it's hurt my feelings. It has hurt my feelings. There you go. So close. You need a rejection. Need to stay heavy, ideally versus 68s, but you can afford to let it come up to 84s here based on where those buyers came in. But ideally versus 68s, and you're looking for that 38 or 40 tag. And under that, you're looking for previous week point of control for your runners. Fuck me. Cannot believe it did me dirty like that. There you go. Right, there's your tag. Oh my God. What a bastard. Oh, just wicked me out, you absolute cluck. All right, there's TP1. Fuck me. Wicked me out. Right, and then you're looking for down here. So you've just hit this. You could have taken some off there, but this level here, previous week close, is important. Next move is down into 690. That's your next one. Alex, why not enter on the pullback since you missed it? I just felt like I had a few goes at it today, mate. If I'm honest, like I had a few goes at it. I think I traded this one here. Hit TP, knockout runner. And we traded maybe this one here. Took a little TP, knockout on the rest. And then I had another go here. Took the break a little bit earlier. Came down. I didn't want it to reclaim this shelf. Right, stop was protecting this shelf. Knocked me out and then went. It's just like three goes, mate, is enough. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes the market doesn't give me what I want. It's just, it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, well done, everyone. And lots of you should have had a big week. I mean, this is going to go for you now. This looks good. This looks good now. Think about this now, what we're doing. All right, this is why it's important to try and be patient and position yourself for the moves. It doesn't always work, but if we zoom out now, all right, if we zoom out, we have a chance. Remember, someone said we're really bullish today. I was like, we're definitely not. We've left trapped buyers. We sold yesterday. We have the first pullback. They've resold this. They failed to make a new high. They're reselling this. If you break this low, probability is you come down into here, right? This is bearish volume being built out, all right? Especially if we do this next week, which would be fun. The bullish move would be coming in a reclaim of that. But that's when it gets uber bullish for the market, not until. It's just liquidity build out today, and it can very easily be a bearish continuation because we expect this point here to be sold. And if anyone's like, oh, it's hindsight, it fucking is not, mate. Like, we talked about this here. Here we go. There's the resell back down. That would be the reclaim for the bullish move. All right, we talked about it all. We talked about it even on stream yesterday. We talked about all of this stuff we talked about. 65649 for runners. I would say 6590. So you can just call it 700. And then yes, 50. So 650. So 700, 650 if you want to make it easier for yourself. 580, and if you got very, very, very lucky, 540. This is going to kill me. This is one of the hardest things with trading, right? When you have 3 goes at something and it goes on the last time when you're not in it. I'm only human. I'm only human. How do I place stop losses, Alex? I'd try and place them the other side of the node, right? Which is why I got stopped out here. See this node being developed? I decided that instead of using the whole grey box, I was going to use this node which had been developed, right? So I placed my stop the other side of this node and I got stopped out. If I'd done it, right, based on this grey box, which if we zoom out, was based on this node here from the developing week, I probably would have been okay. You know, fuck, man. Like, here you go, guys. You're almost there. Oh, man. Well, look, I don't want to hear any bollocks like Alex doesn't know what he's talking about. You're coming into the 700s. All right, so this is a 100-point winner for you. This is tilt. This is what tilt looks like. Thank God we've had a massive week. Felix, I prefer Ninja Trader personally, but it's a personal thing. It's a personal thing. All right, I'm going to have to get off stream now, really, folks, because I've got to go and teach my community now. It's been a great week. Fantastic week. Thank you so much for joining this week. Thank you for all the new subs. I cannot believe how quick my YouTube is growing at the moment. It's all thanks to you guys. I absolutely love trading with you lot, and it's so much fun. I know lots of you are new. If you were new here today, you're probably like, God, that was an awful trading day. It was. It was. I can't dictate the trading days. One thing like new guys have to understand. I can't dictate this. All I can do is avoid this, like we talked about, and try and fade outside or buy above it and avoid this, right? Understand the type of day we're in. We're now getting that trade set up. Of course, it's going without me after knocking me out. It's just sod's law. But hopefully next week we get some expansion modes. It's very possible. It is very possible. If we have had a failed breakout on daily and weekly timeframes, it's very possible we have some fun. Here you go. Oh my God, there's your 100-point banger. There is your 100-point banger. There is your 100-point banger. Well done, folks. Yeah, make me happy. W's in chat for anyone that got that, and you can hold your runners now. 650 is your next target, and then 580s. All right, W's in chat if you got it. Let me know who got it, because that will help me feel good as I leave the weekend. Lots of you got it. Oh, fantastic. Well, at least that's something, eh? At least that's something. All right, big love, everyone. Thank you so much for joining this week. Don't forget, all the codes are underneath. If you want to give back to the community, all right, the codes are underneath. And that's how I'm able to do this stream for free. And FZT is the best code for most prop firms. Other than for Take Profit, you can use code FlowZone. If you want to do the course, if you're new here, go on my YouTube channel, go on the beginner section, do everything for free first. Make sure you like how I trade. If you don't like how I trade, it's okay. Go and find someone else. I'm not offended. This is how I trade. This is my setup, how I work. And if you do like it, everything else is available on my website, flowzonetrader.com. Peace and love, everyone. Make sure you refresh yourself over the weekend. All right, do not sit on the charts, back testing all weekend, staring at a screen all weekend. You will get burnout and exhaust yourself. All right, go and have a good weekend with your friends and families and loved ones, or your dog, or whatever it is you like to do. Make sure you go and do it. Peace out, everyone, and thanks for joining. See you on Monday.